Alright. God. Tell us what's my pick up again.
Sign language. Kune salinde in salinde mic ne so yes. So introduction just next to
Oh, it's just one person on top. Okay. So we just stand next to the chairs. Show her there's one person.
but you can move. Just follow as long as this camera, as long as you can see it. Yeah, because sometimes when you're behind someone pushing the car, so just try and intro, and then after that introduction.
So I'll start with the
Moving is unnecessary. I think it's just
you can start getting interpreters are not supposed to move with this. Apa saya by now like
just next to the
yeah, but then now if can they make space for interpreters like so big interpreters?
that's why you at least if you are then the camera can see. So maybe just one in between the next person. Just need to see the meaning. Say face. Boy.
street.
Actually, what I used to think this is
Yeah. How's my wife balance there? Can you hear from there? One word.
if you're going to man, what? What's on episode?
Come on, Mr. Frank. I'm going up.
Oh, Sarah Shire, man.
Bulas.
State of residence. Whole week, Sunday. When are you Sunday? 7 days straight. What's day 7 here? You get last Sunday. And you are Northwest. You have 7 meeting. Yo. Then I went back to claim all the time. But I know.
get this together, man. You, this one, the other two, the other two is here. There's gonna be a few years. Which two? Eh? Which two? The members. Yeah, Baba. Today is too much. Hey, man, Johnny, man. Yeah.
Mayor. If there is such a person, can that person join us on the stage, please? The mayor or the mayor's representative. Any? Okay. And then another request. People are sitting like a jigsaw puzzle now. They take a seat at the back, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gentlemen with the close to a brown t-shirt with the glasses. You raise your hand. Right. Anybody sitting behind the gentleman, please come this side and take this seat this side.
Sicela ke abantu abahleli pha ngasemva basondele ngaphambili ukuze babagcwalise ezihlalo zilapha ngaphambili. Sicela kananjalo uba ukhona umuntu omele usodolophu okanye usekela sodolophu onothi akwazi usamkela ngasesikweni acele ke enze kanjalo azise uhlalo kwenza uba anikwe eloqobo lokuba amkele amalungu eParliament.
Terwijl ons wacht voor alle achtbare leden bij ons aan te sluiten, ons niet zo lang vragen dat allemaal niet voren te schuiven, dan is de persoon met zijn hand opgesteken en allemaal net min of meer aan je voorstel kan zorgen.
Okay. In the same arrangement, there's a lady seated there, gentlemen, on this side. Anybody sitting behind you, tell them they are sitting in the wrong space. Yeah.
Daar is 'n dame wat daar sit.
That lady there who's, you are, no, sit down, you are right. Anybody seated behind that row, move. There's more space here in the front 3 rows.
Sicela sigcwalise izithuba phaya kweza rows lapha ngaphambili kwelicala la ngasekunene.
Daar is meer spasie ook hier in die voorste 3 rye.
Okay. Yeah, we will be starting shortly in the next 5 minutes so that we rearrange ourselves. So those 2, I've looked at you, you are like wearing something similar on top. You are the goalkeepers. Nobody behind you, you are the main goalkeepers there.
So siqale ke emva kwemizuzu eyi5 okanye emihlanu abo ke bothi ke siqaphele aba bantu banxibisa shirts brown akufuneka kuqale umuntu emva kwabo kufuneka abantu baqinisa izithuba pha ngaphambili. Inkosi.
Ons gaan binne die volgende 3 minute of so begin en die 2 van julle wat die oranje tipe hemde aan het, ek gaan julle as die hekwagte aanstel en probeer vra dat almal voor of rondom julle sit. Dankie.
been reliably informed that this meeting will be fine if we conduct it in such a way that it is English. There will be interpretation into Xhosa and later another interpretation into Afrikaans. There is a continuous interpretation in the sign language. I want us to confirm if everybody in the house will be covered if we go that way: English, sign language, Afrikaans, and isiXhosa.
Usihlalo ke uthi ke apha ke sinetoliki, kukho itoliki yezandla sign language, sibe netoliki yesiXhosa, sibe netoliki yeAfrikaans. Ngoko ke uthi ke xa ngokezokwenza amagqabantshintshi ale ndibano ngale bill uzowuthetha mhlawumbi ngesiXhosa ize itoliki yesiXhosa iguqulele kwi-English. Kananjalo ke sinayo netoliki yeAfrikaans nayo izothi ke mhlawumbi uba uthetha nge-English ise kwi-Afrikaans njalo njalo. So befuna uqonda uba ingaba mhlawumbi nanelisekile na yile nkqubo sizoqhuba ngayo ngolu hlobo athetha ngayo usihlalo.
Ek is daarvan ingelig dat daar deurlopend tolking sal kan wees na Afrikaans toe en na isiXhosa toe. Ek gaan dus deurentyd of gereeld Engels praat en dan sal daar tolking daarna wees na Afrikaans toe en isiXhosa, sowel as deurlopend gebaretaaltolking. Soms sal ek dalk oorskakel isiXhosa toe en dan sal daar tolking wees na Engels en Afrikaans toe. Ek wil net graag daarvan seker maak ook dat dit almal se behoeftes sal bevredig. Sal almal se taalbehoeftes daardeur bevredig word dat daar Afrikaans, Engels, isiXhosa en gebaretaaltolking vandag is. Baie dankie.
Ja, dankie. As daar predikant hier so ons met begin met debat. Don't laugh at me, I'm trying a bit.
Is daar 'n predikant hier so? Ons wil graag begin met 'n gebed. Jy moenie vir my lag nie, ek probeer. And don't laugh at me. Is there a preacher here? I would like to start with a prayer.
Uthi ke usihlalo ubakho ivolunteer okanye itshantliziyo lisivulele ngomthandazo lenhlanganiso. Naye ke bethu uyazama uthetha isibhulu ningamhleki bethu. Inkosi.
Okay, by show of hand, any?
Hande opsteek en gemaak.
Right. None.
Geen?
Sorry.
Okay, okay. After the prayer, can we also then, if the predicant or the preacher national anthem, I'm informed that the national anthem is also readily available, so we will do the prayer and then the national anthem.
Na die gebed sal ons dit volg met die volkslied. Ek is daarvan ingelig dat die volkslied reeds beskikbaar is. So nadat die gebed afgehandel is, sal ons direk die volkslied sing.
Emva komthandazo ke ozokwenziwa ngutata sothi silandele ngokuba sicule umhobe wesizwe, i-national anthem emva komthandazo.
Let us pray in the name of Jesus. Moyo ingcwele egameni loyise, egameni lomoya ingcwele. Bawona amandla onke kusasa nje Thixo wami sime ezinyaweni zakho. Silapha kwelo holo moya ingcwele. Qala masibulele inceba yakho othi wasiphakamisa, wasivusa, wasinika amandla nomonde ozofika kule ndawo. Sinika indlebe ke zokumamela. Sinika indlebe lomphako sizawuphathela kule ndawo Thixo lamandla onke. Sinika amandla ke Thixo wethu ze kuthi neziphatha amandla ezilapha nazo ozinika amandla. Ngoba umnqweno wethu Thixo wethu asangazowuchithalise kule ndawo. Umnqweno wethu kwinzo zonke izinto esinqwele into ba masiphuhle kwindawo sihlala kuzo. Kufuneka size sizomamela sibe yipart yaso Thixo lamandla onke. Sinika amandla ke Thixo wethu oba lapha Thixo lamandla onke. Sinika umoya wakho ingcwele. Makulawule umoya wakho ingcwele kule ndawo. Kuso zonke izinto ezizawuthethwa kule ndawo. ngalo asifelayo uYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Amen.
May I all invite all of you then to stand and then we participate in the singing of the national anthem. Thank you. And the men will take off their hats, please. Thank you.
We allemaal om te staan en die mans asseblief hulle hoedens afhaal voordat ons dan die volkslied sing.
Thank you very much. You can then sit down.
Singahlala phansi enkosi kakhulu.
Igama lami ke oh sorry.
Baie dankie, julle kan nou maar julle sitplekke inneem.
Igama lami ke ngusibongiseni kwaDlomo. Ngiyimember eParliament. Ngingusihlalo weCommittee elingihamba nalo la kwa nawo mase kufika ixesha ukuthi bazi-introduce size la kunike so le nqubo esizoyenza la sizoba nomhlangano nabantu bekuhlala kule ndawo njengendlela umhlangano sesuphathe ngayo eParliament.
As I've said before, good morning. My name is Bongiseni Dlomo. I am a member of Parliament. I am the chairperson of this portfolio committee seated here in the table, and I'm accompanied by the members of the committee who are going to introduce themselves as we are going to continue with the program. And I'm also mentioning to you that we are going to conduct this meeting the way we normally conduct the meetings of Parliament.
Goeiemôre en weer eens dankie. Ek is die voorsitter van hierdie portefeuille Bongelomo en ek gaan ek is die voorsitter van die portefeuille en ek gaan die gebeure verder voortlei. Elke lid van die portefeuille gaan nou elkeen hulle self aan julle ook voorstel en ek wil ook graag net noem dat ons die bedrywighede gaan voortsit op die gewone manier van Parlement. Dankie.
We also have certain stakeholders who are here, who also will introduce themselves, and maybe let me then, before I unpack what is bringing us here, give a space to my honorable members who are seated, some of them very far. I want to remove one chair here and then they must bring themselves closer. I will start on my left.
Ndizothi ke ndiqalise ngokuba ndinichazele ukuba ke sinezinye stakeholders eziyinxalenye ke yale bill singayo kananjalo kona njengoko bendichazele ngamaphambili sinamalungu eParliament nawo ke endizothi ke ndibanike ithuba lokuba bazazise into bangobani basuka kwapha amaqela ezopolitiko njalo njalo. Ndizoqalisa ke kwilungu elingapha ngasokhohlo kum lizazise kuni ngokusesikweni.
Daar is ook verskeie belanghebbendes wat aan julle voorgestel gaan word en 'n geleentheid gaan kry om met julle te praat, maar ek dink eerstens wil ek graag my agbare collega's aan julle voorstel wat tans 'n bietjie ver van my af sit, so ek vra dat hulle net so 'n bietjie nader skuif en dan sal ons aan die een kant van die tafel begin. Dankie.
Goeiemorgen, good morning. My name is Philip van Staden. I'm a member of Parliament and a member of this committee. I'm from Pretoria, Gauteng, and I am representing the Freedom Front Plus.
Molweni nonke igama lami ke ndikuhloniphekileyo uPhilip Castaden, ndililungu lale committee, ndimele umbutho ekuthiwa yi-Freedom Front Plus, kodwa ke ngokwemvelaphi ndisuka phaya ePretoria.
Goeiemôre, good morning. My naam is Philip van Staden en ek is 'n lid van parlement sowel as van hierdie komitee. Ek verteenwoordig die Vryheidsfront Plus en ek is van Pretoria af.
Good morning. My name is Michelle Clark. I'm a member of Parliament and also a member of the Health Committee. I am from Gauteng in the East Rand and represent each one of you in the Health Committee and the issues that you raised today. So thank you for coming here, and we are very happy to host you and listen to your deliberations. Thank you very much.
Enkosi kakhulu igama lami ke ndingumama ohloniphekileyo uMichelle Clark, ndililungu lale committee yezempilo phaya eParlamente, kwaye ke ndisuka phaya kwiphondo laseGauteng kummandla waphaya eEast Rand. Ndize apha ke nam ndizokumela nina kule miba yezempilo. Enkosi.
Goeiemôre, my naam is Michelle Clark. Ek is 'n lid van die parlement sowel as 'n lid van die gesondheidskomitee. Ek is oorspronklik van Gauteng provinsie af en ek verteenwoordig elkeen van julle hier vandag. So ek is opgewonde daaroor om julle kwessies te hoor, julle kommentaar te hoor. Baie dankie dat julle gekom het.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Sanbonani. Igama nginguJuliet Khumalo. Ngiyi-member yale committee from ku-National Assembly. Ngiqhamuka eMpumalanga ngokuhlala, but nje ngiyilunga lale committee lezempilo eParliament. Ngiyabonga.
A very good morning to you, fellow South Africans. My name is Honorable Juliet Khumalo. I am a member of this portfolio committee of health in Parliament. By background, I come from Mpumalanga, and I'm here to listen to your inputs today. Thank you.
Goeiemôre almal. Ek is agbare Juliet Khumalo en ek is 'n lid van parlement sowel as van hierdie komitee. Ek is oorspronklik van Mpumalanga af en ek sien uit daarna om vandag hierdie kwessies met julle aan te spreek. Dankie.
Good morning. My name, I'm Dr. Khosi Letlape, born in Maryland, Soweto, a resident of Gauteng, a member of Action SA, and a member of the Health Committee of Parliament.
Molweni ngalenjikalanga, xebe ngalentsasa. Igama lami ndingohloniphekileyo uGqirha Khosi Letlape, ndisuka phaya kulamandla waseSoweto eGauteng. Ngokombutho ke wezopolitiko ndisuka phaya kulambutho iAction SA. Ndithi ke ndiyanibulisa nami ngalenjikalanga ndizokumamela izimvo zenu. Enkosi.
Goeiemôre, ek is agbare Khosi Letlape en ek is 'n lid van Action Aid SA. Ek is oorspronklik van Soweto, Gauteng provinsie en ek is 'n lid van die parlement sowel as van die gesondheidskomitee vir parlement. Baie dankie.
Molo. Igama lami nguPatrick Mutubatsi. Ngibuya eNorthwest, ngilunga leParliament. Ngirepresenta iMK Party National Parliament. Enkosi.
A very good morning to you, fellow South Africans. My name is Patrick Motubatsi. I am coming from Northwest. I am a member of this committee, and politically I represent a political party called MK Party. I thank you.
Goeiemôre, ek is agbare Patrick Motobati. Ek is oorspronklik van die Noordwes provinsie en polities verteenwoordig ek die MK party. Baie dankie.
Sima, thank you very much to my members. Again, here there is the bill before us, brought to us as portfolio committee by Department of Health, and in this audience there is someone who is representing the office of the minister, Mr. Khatla. He is in the audience. I can't see where he is. Oh, there he is. He is representing the minister, Minister Motsoaledi from the Department of Health, and together with him, there's a whole host, there's a big delegation of the officials of the Department of Health that are led by the Deputy Director General, Miss Janet Hunter, and she is accompanied by lawyers and everything you can think of. This is a team. Maybe all those who are with Miss Janet Hunter, can they all stand up? The delegation from the Department of Health. That is the Department of Health delegation. Thank you very much. In these two tables, now the third thing, you won't forget. In these two tables, there are members of staff from Parliament. Let me end there now for that.
Nkosi kakhulu bantu bakuthi ke mandinazise into ba apha ke sijongane nale bill yezempilo ekhokhelwa ke lisebe lezempilo iDepartment of Health ngolasemzini. Kukho ke umnumzana ophakathi kwethu apha omele umphathiswa igama lakhe ke ngumnumzana uRhatla omele umphathiswa owezempilo ubawo umutswaledi. Kwakhona ke kukho no DDG ohamba nesigqeba sakhe naye Miss Janet Hunter ophahlwe sisigqeba sakhe nabo ke balapha nabo bezokumamela kuba kaloku le bill siyayazi ukuba phambi ba iye eParliament iqale yenziwe lisebe lezempilo izwe apha eParliament. Kwakhona ke okwesithathu sinezitafile zimbini kukho ingasekunene kube khona le ingasekhohlo. Enye ke itafile ngamagosa la asebenzisana nekomiti kwakunye ke nenye itafile echazwe.
Ons het vanoggend 'n klompie afgevaardigdes en belanghebbendes wat ons ook gaan toespreek en aan albei kante van die vertrek. Ons het 'n verteenwoordiger van minister Motsoaledi van die gesondheidsdepartement en hy gaan ons toespreek en dat ons ook verskeie afgevaardigdes aan die kant van die saal wat gepaard gaan met Jenna Tanta het gevra dat hulle opstaan, hulle het reeds julle welkom geheet. Hulle gaan ook met ons miskien praat en dan wil ek ook laastens net sê dat daar personeellede van die parlement aan beide kante is.
These two tables are important because if you are shy and you are scared that your mother-in-law is going to see you speaking on the TV, but you still want to engage us as parliamentarians, you can go and deposit your wish or what you want us to see on those tables so that your mother-in-law does not fight with you when you go back home. But if you are able to come and speak to us, we'll give you that opportunity also. So do make use of those. Speak to us or deposit your wishes on those tables.
Bemi boMzantsi Afrika abaphakathi kwethu sinezatafile ke ndizikhankanyile ezimbini kukho leya inamagosa esebe lezempilo kubekho la tafile ingapha ekunene inamagosa asebenza nekomiti lena uba ke mhlambi wena ungabhala mhlambi isiphakamiso usibhale phansi wamkelekile into yoba uyigqithise isiphakamiso sakho njalo njalo so wamkelekile into yoba ubhale phansi izimvo zakho kulomba singawo namhlanje ugqithise kwezatafile zombini eziya. Kwakhona kuba mhlawumbe uziva uliqhaji uzidile wamkelekile ke kwezitulo ezilapha phakathi xa sekuniklela lokuvakalisa izimvo nawe ngokuthethe phaya embokweni uqhuba ngolo hlobo.
Hierdie twee tafels aan weerskant is baie belangrik want dit gee julle veelvuldige opsies. So as u miskien te skaam is om op nasionale televisie te verskyn en bang is dat u skoonma u op televisie gaan sien, maar wel 'n bydrae wil lewer, dan is daar geleentheid om enige vrae of kwessies of kommer op papier neer te skryf en in te gaan handig aan daardie kant. En dan sal daardie kommentaar ook bydra tot die gesprek. Indien u wel verkies, is u ook welkom om ons toe te spreek. U sal wel 'n spreekbeurt kry. Baie dankie.
Okay. Now, let us therefore start. We are aware that the colleagues who were in the 6th parliamentary process and portfolio committee held public hearings on this bill in 7 provinces out of 9. As this committee here, we have done the 2 remaining provinces, which was KwaZulu-Natal and Northern Cape. But however, we noticed that in the Western Cape, they had 2 public hearings, which was going to bring a difficulty because in other provinces they did 3. So we are here in George to complete and make sure that the Western Cape also has 3 public hearings like other provinces. So when we were reading their report, we came to understand that they had earmarked George as another part of Western Cape they wanted to visit, but they did not do. So we are like completing that process that was started on the 6th administration and left out Western Cape 1 public hearing.
Kwakhona ke soqaphela into yoba kula parliament idlulileyo phambi kokuba kubekho unyulo bekukho indibano i-public hearings ezifana noku eziyenziwa yikomiti yezempilo ekumila kunje efana nale iphambi kwethu kwaye ke baye bona benza baya kumaphondo asixhenxe ayi-7 ngoku ke ngokuthina siyile komiti yeparlamente yesixhenxe which means the 7th parliament siye satyelela i-Northern Cape neKwaZulu Natal kodwa saqaphela into yoba ke ngoku kwiphondo elifanele eNtshona Koloni kuye kwenziwa i-public hearings ezimbini kuphela. Yiloo nto ngoku le komiti ibona ibubulumko into yoba yenze ke ngoku ize apha eGeorge izokwenza ke ngoku umjikelo wokugqibela wale public hearing kulo mthetho wesizwe ke ojongene necuba ukwenza uba ke kugqityezelwe uba kuye kwaqatshelwa into yoba iGeorge nayo ke ngoku ibalulekile uba kugqityezelwe ngayo kulo mjikelo wokugqibela wale public hearing.
Onder die 6de administrasie het die gesondheidskomitee hierdie wetsontwerp reeds of het ons openbare verhore gehou in 7 van die 9 provinsies in Suid-Afrika. Ons onder die 7de administrasie het dit toe nou voortgesit in die laaste 2 provinsies gedoen, openbare verhore daar gehou en dit was in die Noord-Kaap en in KwaZulu-Natal. Toe het ons egter gesien dat die 6de administrasie nooit 'n geleentheid gekry het om 'n 3de dorp in die Weskaap te besoek nie. Slegs 2 dorpe in die Weskaap is besoek in teenstelling met 3 dorpe in elke ander provinsie. En ons het gesien dat George wel geoormerk was vir 'n besoek en dat dit toe nou nooit gebeur het nie. En met ons hier handel ons dit nou af. Ons kom dan nou uiteindelik daarby uit om ook 'n openbare verhoor in George te hê.
Igama ke lalomthethosisekelo igama lithiwa i-Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill. Inte ethi ke bayigcinise lapha nabathi izo controller ayizile ukuzovala tu icuba lingabe senziwa noma ngasasiyenziswa. Bayiqalileke njengoba senithethile ku-6 administration sizoyigqibezela lapha ke. Ilethwa lento ngoba kukhona ushintsho olukhulu oluze nemboni yaba bathengisa icuba nazo zonke into ezihamba nazo esibange ukuthi kungabe kusakwazi ukuthi lo mthetho okhona ngokukwazi ukumelana nalezi zinto ezintsha abazifakileyo. So ke i-Department of Health uhulumende ke usuthi mawuze nomunye umthetho sekelo ongase uqinise ugcine usungumthetho omusha wokubamba ungene kulelo ndawo ke ethe yaba nenkinga.
Indeed, as we move on, fellow South Africans, I want to say that the name of the bill that we're talking about today is called Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill. And secondly, the tobacco industry has seen a lot of changes because you must remember that some people use certain methods, you know, to use tobacco. Therefore, there have been a lot of changes that have been happening. That is why now the Department of Health was trying to come up with such a bill so that it can be able to cope with the modern mechanisms regarding the tobacco industry, because there have been a lot of changes. That is why now, as the committee, we decided to conduct these public hearings in places like George so that we can hear exactly what the people are saying regarding this bill.
Dan verder wil ek graag vir julle sê dat die wetsontwerp wat ons vandag hier gaan bespreek getiteld is die wetsontwerp op die beheer van tabakprodukte en elektroniese afleweringsstelsels. Tweedens wil ek sê dat hierdie 'n area is wat baie veranderinge die afgelope tyd beleef het. Soos julle weet is daar allerlei verskillende maniere van tabak en nikotien inname wat deesdae nuut aangekom het. En daarom het die gesondheidsdepartement het goed gedink om dit te probeer hanteer, dit te bespreek en 'n wetsontwerp daarvolgens aan te pas. En daarom het ons dan nou ook besluit om hierdie verhoor in George te hou, sodat ons julle kwessies daar rondom kan hoor.
Kwaqala ke ngo-1993 ngomthetho owukhona owawuthi ulawule indaba yokusetshenziswa kwecuba. Yasetshenziswa ke kakhulu uminister wokuqala uDr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma wase elekelela ukuthi kube khona ukulungiswa kwaleyo mthetho ngezithetho zivivinyo zazi-amendwa. Wagcinwa kulungisiwe kwaba nama-amendments amathathu. Eyokuqala yaba ngo-1999, eyesibili yaba ngo-2007, eyesithathu yaba ngo-2008. Ingakho ke manje bethi udepartment ayi usuthe wachibiyelwa kakhulu lo mthetho. Into ebhetele makumane kulethwe ezizinto ezoqalisa ke omusha ngoku ngoba kunento ezininzi esezithe zangena eziphuma ku-industry esezibanga ungabe sakwazi ukuchibiyeleka kakhulu ngoba kunento ezintsha kakhulu abazifakileyo la. Uchibiyelwe kathathu 1999, 2007 nango-2008.
We must take into consideration that from the time of the former minister, Nkosazana Zuma, when she took power on the Department of Health in 1994, there was an existing act, the Tobacco Act of 1993. And then when she took office, she did try to make some changes and work on that act. And following that, because there were also some changes that were happening in this industry, therefore there were 3 amendments that followed from that process. The first amendment regarding this Tobacco Act was done in 1999, and then another amendment was done in 2007, and the last amendment regarding this Tobacco Act was done in 2008. That is why now we're trying to make a final product regarding this bill, to make it an act and rectify certain things so that they can cope with the modern challenges in the tobacco industry.
Dan wil ek sê dat reeds in 1994 toen Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma die minister geword het, het sy reeds begin interaksie hê met hierdie wetsontwerp of met die wet op tabak eerder. En daar is sedertdien verskeie wysigings aangebring. Die wet is amptelik in 1993 ingehuldig en sedertdien was daar al 3 wysigings, naamlik in 1999, in 2007 en in 2008. So ons herbesoek dit nou sodat dit kan voldoen aan die uitdagings van ons moderne samelewing, want sedertdien, soos ek reeds genoem het, het soveel gebeur.
The Department of Health argues that with this bill, they will be aligning themselves and the country with the World Health Organization's pronouncements and the framework on Convention on Tobacco Control. And they would want to then strongly strengthen what already has. It is, of course, called a control bill, which then will end up being a control act. But there are certain things within the control, regulate, refocus, that they would want to ban.
Uzonixakisa uba ke lo ban lantoni nantoni xa kuthiwa makupheliswe kuzobe kupheliswa ntoni nantoni nantoni kodwa ke into ezibalulekileyo kuba kuzobakho ngoku imiba yoba kubekho ulawulo oluthile olufakelwayo nemimiselo nemiqathango ezothi yaziswe.
Just before the Afrikaans translation, it is not WTO, it's WHO, World Health Organization. I heard WTO. No, it's a World Health Organization, WHO. Okay.
Met hierdie wetsontwerp beoog die Gesondheidsdepartement om hulle self te belyn met die Wêreldgesondheidsorganisasie, in Afrikaans WHO, se raammerkkonvensie om daaraan te voldoen. En dit is 'n wetsontwerp op beheer, Met ander woorde, ons wil sekere aspekte van tabakverbruik reguleer, sekere aspekte daarvan herfokus. Maar binne hierdie wetsontwerp op beheer is daar ook sekere aspekte wat ons wil ban. So daar sal ook daarna gekyk word binne die groter raamwerk van beheer.
I'm aware we have read through this bill and you probably are familiar with the public education programs that have come in from Parliament, but just to summarize in 3 slides again, the ban the bill is advocating for removing or not allowing vending machines in malls and public spaces where anybody who has got money, whether it's a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 50-year-old, can go and dispense tobacco products because there is a vending machine there, free for all. The other ban is not to allow a display, as it is currently happening, a display of tobacco products at the point of sale. When you go to any place that is selling goods, you will see a display of tobacco there. Someone was even saying rather the tobacco sale be like buying airtime. We don't get airtime advertised, but you know in that shop when I ask for airtime, they will give me airtime if they have it, and remove it from display. So there's those 2 things that they are wanting to not to be part of: display of tobacco products in the point of sale, and no vending machines dispensing tobacco products in any place within the country.
Kwakhona ke kwezi ndawo ndithethe ngazo uban it means ke ukupheliswa okanye ukubhangiswa zimbini zinhlandumbini. Yokuqala ke kuthiwa ke kufuneka ukupheliswa abamatshini bokwenza imidiza bangabikho phaya kwi-malls, ukwenzela uba kungathi mhlamba amagatyana okanye abantwana abancinane ngokuba benomtsalane woba bathenge le midiza phaya kuba beyibona ziphaa kwezaa malls. Ngoko kwii-malls ziza kupheliswa konke ke ezi vending machines zingabikho konke ukwenza uba abantu bangabi namtsalane wokuba bathenge icuba. Uyakhumbula uba sinabantwana abasebancinci abaselula engafunekanga uba nabo ke ngoku bazibandakanye kwimiba yokutshaya. Okwesibini kuthiwa ke ngoku afunekanga into yoba ke ngoku ezi mveliso zecuba okanye ezi pakethi zibonakaliswe phaya, zibe phaya kwi-display. Funeka kupheliswe ke ngoku nokubonakaliswa kwi-displays kwazo phaya kwi-shopping malls. Loo nto ke sithetha ke ngaba ban bantlantlumbini. Okokuqala unento kwenza ne-vending machines, machine bavelisa icuba. Okwesibini kuba ke zingabi phaya zibe imiboniso ebantwini.
Julle het reeds waarskynlik na die wetsontwerp gekyk en met die vooraf inligting wat aan julle gegee is julle miskien reeds daarmee vertroud. So ek wil net gou 'n paar skyfies basies se opsomming daarvan gee. En eerstens wil ek sê die 2 areas waar verbod spesifiek geld binne die groter raamwerk van beheer is 1. Ons wil graag die verkoop van sigarette deur outomatiese verkoopmasjiene verbod. Met ander woorde daardie masjiene waar sommer net los muntstukke ingegooi kan word wat baie keer in winkelsentrums is en in ander openbare areas is. Dit wil ons graag verbied want dit gun toegang vir enige klein kind, 'n kind van 9 of 10 wat sommer maklik daarmee sigarette in die hande kan kry. So dit wil ons van kant maak. En dan die tweede ding is wat ons ook wil verbied is die uitstalling van tabakprodukte by verkooppunte. Met ander woorde waar 'n mens gaan betaal is daar baie keer 'n groot ry sigarette en vapingprodukte wat daar tentoongestel word. Dit wil ons graag verander en ons wil eerder hê soos wat iemand vir my vroeër genoem het dat dit moet wees soos wanneer jy lugtyd gaan koop vir jou foon of data vir jou foon. Dit word nie uitgestal nie, dit word nie bemark nie, maar jy weet is daar en jy kan gaan vra by die toonbank verkoop julle lugtyd. En op dieselfde manier wil ons tabak minder uitstal, maar jy kan steeds gaan vra by die toonbank.
There's also a call to have a plain packaging of the cigarettes or the tobacco products, plain, with visible writings that smoking is dangerous. You see that more on a plain packaging. There's an advocate for that. And mainly the purpose as espoused by the Department of Health is to protect the young people, is to protect women, especially mothers who are likely to fall pregnant because of dangers of tobacco and pregnancy, and mainly focusing on those who are actually, so that it becomes a deterrent to even start the issues of tobacco products.
Eneneni ke xa sihlabela mgama ke ikhwelo ke lihlatyiwe lisebe lezempilo intoba kufuneke ngoku kubekho iipakethi zecuba ezicacileyo ezinemibhalo ke esisilumkiso mhlambe sithi kuyingozi ukutshaya. Ingakumbi ke xa sijonge abantu abasesichengeni abafana noomama nabantwana, ingakumbi ke oomama abakhulelweyo, kuyafuneka kube ngoku kubekho ngoku iipakethi ezicacileyo ezinemibhalo ecacileyo. Lo mibhalo ke esisilumkiso esithi ke kuyingozi ukutshaya, ingakumbi kumama ke komama abakhulelweyo.
Dan is daar ook die voorstel om sigaretverpakking te vereenvoudig, sodat dit baie meer gewoon is, baie meer eenkleurig is en die gesondheidswaarskuwings dan nou baie meer sigbaar daarop is en dat die gesondheidswaarskuwings vergroot word sodat dit onmiddellik sigbaar is wanneer 'n mens 'n pakkie sigarette byvoorbeeld of ander rookprodukte sou koop. En die doel hiervan is veral om jong mense te beskerm sowel as moeders of vrouens wat moeders kan word, want in die geval daarvan dat hulle rook kan dit gevaarlik wees vir 'n swangerskap of vir 'n ongebore baba. So ons wil graag mense daarvan verhoed om enigstens te begin rook met hierdie vereenvoudiging van die verpakking en die groot waarskuwing.
Okay. Additionally to what the department has given to us, we have listened to, is that there are about 8 million people in the world we lose, they die on tobacco-related illnesses. And number two, they indicate that 1.2 other citizens, 1.2 million other citizens of the world who chose not to smoke become second-hand smokers by sitting around those who smoke and blow or get the smoke into them. So the bill is saying while it is a right of any individual to smoke, it is equally a right of any other person not to have anyone smoking, blowing their smoke to them so that they do not become second-hand smokers when they've chosen not to smoke.
Kwakhona ke isebe lezempilo uDepartment of Health uze neenkcukacha okanye statistics ezithi ke kukho 8 million yabantu kwihlabathi jikelele abathi ke basweleke ngenxa yezigulo ezinxulumene nokutshaya. Kwakhona ke kubekho uluhlu lwesibini eli 1.2 yabemi behlabathi bona ke kodwa ke abatshayi kodwa bayachaphazeleka mhlambi lo misi yabantu mhlawumbe umuntu atshaye eca kwakho loo nto ngoku mhlambi wena uyifunxe ngempumlo ize ikuchaphazele empilweni. Ithi ke ngokulento ewe lilungelo lakho loba ke mhlawumbe utshaye xa ufuna kodwa elo lungelo lakho lokutshaya malingachaphazeli impilo yomnye umuntu. Sineendidi ezimbini, sine 8 million yabantu abathi ke basutye kukufa ngenxa yezigulo ezinxulumene nokutshaya kwabo. Sibe noluhlu lwesibini labantu eli 1.2 million abathi ke bona ke bachaphazeleke yimisi le iphuma kwicuba.
Verder het die Gesondheidsdepartement die volgende getalle vir ons gegee. Ons verloor jaarliks 8 miljoen mense wêreldwyd aan rookverwante siektes. En dan bykomend daartoe is daar 1.2 miljoen mense wêreldwyd wat sogenaamde tweedehandse rokers word. Met ander woorde mense wat self nie rook nie, maar wat rook inasem omdat hulle leef of naby ander mense is wat gereeld rook. Nou dit is elkeen se vrye reg om te rook of nie te rook nie soos wat hulle wil, maar dit is ook elkeen se vrye reg om nie daaraan blootgestel te word en hulle gesondheid te laat affekteer daardeur nie en om nie dus te hoef tweedehandse rokers word nie.
Sizeke apha silikomiti ephondweni laseNtshona Koloni eGeorge ukuzomamela ke izimvo zenu kulomthetho sisekelo. Ndizovulela ke ngoku ixesha lokuthi simamele abazothetha nathi simamele uvulelekile ukuba ungathetha noma ngaliphi ilanguage ocomfortable kuyo uxele nje ukuthi mina ngubani uphuma phi ndisuka kweyiphi ward noma PP ndithi mina ndiyangqinelana nale bill noma andingqinelani, nazi izathu zami endinazo endizibekayo ke udedele nabanye ngoba emva kwakho nabanye bazobe bekhona befuna ukuthetha.
Indeed, fellow South Africans, we came here as a portfolio committee of health to this province of the Western Cape, especially in this town called George, to listen to your public input regarding this bill. Therefore, as we continue with the program today, you are going to be given an opportunity to come and stand here and speak and to say that, yes, my name is so and so, I come from a particular place or from a particular ward. I stand here to support the bill for these following reasons, and then you state them, and then in a particular order. That is how we're going to continue going forward.
Nou ons as die portefeulje het vandag die Weskaap en spesifiek julle hier in George kom besoek, sodat ons met hierdie openbare verhoor julle insette hieroor kan kry. En dit gaan ons doen volgens hierdie spesifieke program en ons wil graag soveel as moontlik mense geleentheid gee. Nou hoe u gebruik sal maak van hierdie spreekgeleentheid is om wanneer u nou wel vorentoe kom te sê, ja, my naam is, en dan uw naam te gee, te sê waar u vandaan kom, en dan te sê, ek steun die wetsontwerp, of ek steun dit nie. Ek is ten gunste daarvan, of ek is nie ten gunste daarvan nie. En dit is hoe ons dan die proses sal afhandel.
Okay, this is being our last public hearings. There are some familiar faces in the audience because we know this bill has got a national interest, and therefore there are those who have accompanied us nationally. We'll give them the very last opportunity, so they will not be taking the first platform, and they will go in the last group. There will be 3 groups. So I want to start this side predominantly because I have been made aware that there's a mother here who's on a wheelchair, and she would really want to be given the first slot, and then thereafter she would then leave. So starting with her, can I then recognize from this side?
So ke siqala kwelicala la ngasekunene ngakumbi ke khona umama wami nge-wheelchair, simnike ithuba lokuba naye athethe kule bill.
Dit is nou ons laaste ontmoeting, so ons het verskeie bekende gesigte wat ons nou al hier sien, wat al die pad nog met ons saamkom en reg oor die land hulle opinies gelewer het. Nou die mense wat ons al reeds gesien het, gaan die laaste geleentheid kry om te praat, sodat ander ook 'n kans kan kry. En ons gaan 3 groepe maak, en ek wil graag aan daardie kant begin, want ek is gesê dat daar 'n moeder in 'n rolstoel is, wat graag eers sal wil praat, sodat sy daarna kan gaan. So ons gaan die kant begin.
Can you just keep your hands, keep your hands up for those who would like to engage with the committee?
Hou julle hande op.
So that I can give you numbers. Mama on the wheelchair, you'll be number 1. Then keep your hands up. Then I come to the row before you. The lady in the black top is number 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you are together? I saw you push, you are not together with Mama. Okay, 5, we are number 5. Let's go there. The cap at the back, we are number 6, and another one just behind you, you are number 7. Can we therefore ask all those whose hands were up, leave your seats and come to the passage here, by the gang. Is that correct? Gang.
Kan ek net vra dat almal wie se hande op was, julle sitplekke verlaat en hier by die stoele in die gang.
You will find the chairs there. Yeah.
Julle sal die stoele daar vind.
So, Mama, you can bring your wheelchair here, right there. You can push her on her wheelchair, and she sits just before this. So, all the hands from this side have been taken because we will proceed to other parts. We won't come back here. All those on this side who would like to engage with the parliament have got their hands up now. umuntu ke uzothetha ngalolo language a comfortable ngayo ungathi uzothetha ngesiXhosa noma ngentoni oyike. Speak any language that you would like to speak with, to use, and the interpretation will be done to us if a person has been speaking only Afrikaans or isiXhosa, because some of us are very poor in understanding of isiXhosa and also very poor in understanding of Afrikaans, but we are fine with English. But if a participant, a citizen, speaks in English, there will not then be an interpretation into us, because we will have understood.
Uba kukho ke ozothetha isingesi apha kwi-podium akazukutolekelwa, kodwa ke uba kho umuntu mhlawumbe ufuna uthetha ulwimi lwakhe ukhululekile bathethe isingesi okanye xa bathethe isibhulu okanye athethe isiXhosa, itolekile zizothi ke ziyithathe laa ntetho zitolekele amalungu la epalamente ngesingesi. Kodwa ke ozothi athethe isingesi phaya akazukutolekelwa kuba lokho intetho yakhe uzobe ibhekisa kumalungu epalamente.
Just be aware there are other citizens behind you, so educate us or give us your views, but not be exhaustive. If I find you that we are on your page 3 of your document, I'll ask you to take the rest of your pages to the table there. Just give us your focus points, 3, 4, 5, not 15. If they go that far, we'll ask you to send that to the table.
U kan in enige taal van die keuse praat en daar sal tolking wees indien u in isiXhosa praat, sal daar tolking wees na Engels toe, en indien u Afrikaans praat, sal daar tolking wees na Engels toe, want sommige van ons verstaan nie isiXhosa of Afrikaans nie, maar as u Engels praat, dan sal daar nie tolking wees nie. Dan wil ek ook net graag vra dat almal net hulle punte nie te breedvoerig maak nie. So sê in 'n paar minute, as u 2 of 3 punte het om te maak, is dit fantasties. As daar 15 punte is wat u wil maak, gaan lewer eerder 'n geskrewe opstel af by die tafels. Dankie.
Okay. Mama has just taken her cup of coffee and she's now ready to start. Your name, your surname, where you come from, your views, your opinion on the bill. Laat ons begin. Dankie.
Good morning, Molweni. Goeiemôre almal. My naam is Rashida Muller. Oh no, I speak English, I forgot. I am the president of the National Informal Traders Alliance of South Africa. We are a national body across the length and breadth of all 9 provinces. The informal sector is a sector of over 6 million informal traders. And we are the sector that creates our own jobs. As you know, unemployment is very rife and growing in our country. My point, sir, as you said, I should be short. I cannot be short because the livelihoods of our informal traders are affected by this very bill. But I need to open and say, we acknowledge as the informal sector, the health of people is very important. We acknowledge that smoking is bad. We acknowledge that it's cancer, amongst other issues that causes cancer. But we are here to appeal to Parliament. We cannot find jobs. We have been selling cigarettes, single cigarettes, and packets of cigarettes, a legal product, a product that is not illegal, and it is a product that is an age-old custom across the world. All our ancestors, many of them, I shouldn't say all, have been smoking. Yes, some have been affected, others not. There are people that have been smoking for 50 years and they're still carrying on. However, NITASA does promote that education takes place at a very young age, in the primary school already, that they should be taught the dangers of smoking. But the emphasis lies, smoking is not illegal. Illicit cigarettes are illegal. What is being done to stop that? Illicit cigarettes is being sold all over our country at a price that not even the legal cigarettes taxpayers are paying. It is very important to understand that the informal traders' livelihood, hundreds of thousands of them across the country, are dependent on the sale of the single cigarette. Those are the 2 points that we are very concerned about: the sale of single cigarettes and the display of cigarettes. Now, formal business does have the luxury of being able to have beautiful display cabinets. We carry it. We carry it on us, in front of us, on a small box. How do we hide? Must we be criminalized by hiding it somewhere and then say, hey, I sell cigarettes, come, come, come? No. We want to know that we are adding great value to the economy of this country, that we are legal, abiding citizens. We believe in rules and regulations, but we are asking Parliament to look at the informal sector. I thank you.
Right, next.
Greetings. I'm Mamelo Khitledi. I'm a final year medical student at the University of the Cape Town. I support the bill because... Greetings. I am Mamelo Khitledi, a final year medical student at the University of the Cape Town. And I support the bill because the bill is a vital step forward in protecting the health of South Africans and securing a healthier future for our nation. Tobacco.
So we were making an accommodation for Umama because, can you bring back that mic? We want to see you standing. Yeah, so any other? No, the lady, yeah, come to the mic now. Okay, just as a caution, I didn't hear, some of my colleagues are now reminding me, when a member has made a statement, we will not say, in the form of clapping, because somebody is going to say something different, and then we are going to be tempted to boo that person. Let's just listen to the presentations as they are made without our comments. We will clap hands at the end of the day when they all have participated. But for now, we would not say either or. So please, as the lady now is on the mic, sorry to disturb you, then you can circle down and then take her chair, because when she finishes here, she's not going to go back to the chair in the hang. She's going back to her chair. So I should mention that now. So all other participants will come into the mic, finish, and then go to your place. Sorry to disturb you, student. Start again.
Forward in protecting health of South Africans and securing a healthier future for our nation. Tobacco is the leading cause of preventable death in South Africa. It's responsible for lung cancer, heart disease, respiratory illness, and many others. There are many clinical studies that show that smoking increases the risk of the diseases I've mentioned. And also, The World Health Organization has linked tobacco directly to 85% of lung cancers. And as a medical student, I have seen patients with these diseases, and it's very difficult to treat them. As South Africa, we do not have enough resources to treat these patients, and not to mention staff. Every year, thousands of lives are lost and countless others are affected by the second-hand smoke. And these deaths, they are very much avoidable. The bill is crucial not just for reducing the harm of tobacco causes today, but for protecting our future generations. It includes provisions like plain packaging to reduce tobacco's appeal, ban on flavored products that target youth, tighter restrictions on advertising to prevent the tobacco industry from glamorizing smoking to our children. With these measures, we can significantly reduce smoking initiation amongst young people, giving them a healthier start in life. The bill also addresses the rising concern of electronic cigarettes, which are marketed as being safer alternatives. However, they still pose significant health risks, including addiction. By regulating these products, like the traditional tobacco, we protect our youth from falling into a new form of addiction. Additionally, expanding smoke-free public spaces ensures that non-smokers, especially children, are not exposed to second-hand smoke, further safeguarding our public. The bill is not just a policy, it's a commitment to people of South Africa, especially generations to come. By supporting the legislation, we are choosing health and well-being of our citizens over the interest of the tobacco industry. We are ensuring that our children grow up in a world where smoking is no longer acceptable and an attractive option. Let us stand together to create a tobacco-free South Africa and protect the future of our children. Thank you.
Goeiemôre. Ek is Joanie Versaghi Jantjies, gemeenskapsaktivis van Pakkelsdorp. Ek is hier vanoggend hier om te sê ek ondersteun die bil. 100% nie, of ek ondersteun hom nie. Daar's sekere goed in hierdie bil wat ek voel baie van ons mense sal ondersteun. Ja, die rook kan 'n gesondheidsrisiko wees, maar daar's ander dinge waaroor ons parlementsmense, ons president en ons leiers eintlik meer aandag aan moet gee. Sigarette is 'n nadeel vir my wat nie 'n roker is nie. En dit het ek geondervind. Maar dan is daar ook die alcohol, wat 'n groter probleem is, want kinders word verkrag, mense word vermoor van alcohol. 'n Gewone sigaret maak die mense van hulle kop af. Alcohol het ook sy gezondheidsrisiko. En die ander ding is, ons word so laat geïnform van die meeting vandag, dat ons saal so leeg lyk, soos dit hier is. Want die boodskap kom nie vroeg genoeg by ons mense uit nie. Die tweede ding is, wat ek wil sê vir ons regering is, hulle kom met 'n bil nou, soos vele ander bille wat hulle alreeds ook gebring het. Maar na regte het hulle klaar besluit wat hulle gaan doen. Hulle kom waarskynlik net ons belastingmense se geld deur 'n bil hier te sit. Sekere goed word aanvaar, sekere goed nie. Gee aandag aan die regte goed en veral ons mense wat regte winkels het en wat eerlik wil besigheid maak en verkoop, soos wat hulle nou gepraat het van die formeltrailers, word gedruk. Die parlement weet mooi waar om mooi te praat en mooi te speel. En veral op ons gevoelens met woorde soos hierin, oor die Khoisan. Maar wat hulle vir ons moet doen, dat doen hulle nie. Hulle speel mooi, die bil is nie nou net 'n bil nie. Hy's klaar geaanvaar. Ons kom ons eintlik mense, ons kom ons geld nie. Ons kom ons tyd en op 'n Sondagoggend, terwyl ons mense na kerke toe gaan, na ons toe te kom. Is dit lekker? Is dit reg? Is dit mooi? Julle mors ons belastinggeld om nou die tyd te kom. Cyril Ramaphosa is arrogant. Goed wat hy reg moet aanspreek, spreek hy nie reg aan nie. Nou kom julle mooi met 'n bil oor sigarette. Wat is so groot issue is nie? Spreek die regte goed aan en kom reg uit na ons mense toe. Dankie.
I have not heard the interpretation what it says into English and this course, but there are already hands clapping. I want you, please do not clap when it is interesting to you, because it may be that when someone else says something else, you would not clap, but do something else. Did I not ask for that? So why is there clapping there? Don't do that, okay? Right. To interpret for us, our Afrikaans is not too good.
Good afternoon, good morning. My name is Joni Versage Jantjies, and I'm a community activist in Pakkelsdorp, George. I cannot stand here this morning and say to you that I either support this bill 100% or that I do not support the bill 100%. Yes, there are some things in the bill that is right and that needs to be addressed. But I have to say this morning, what weighs heavy is that some things needs more attention than cigarettes. Cigarettes are wrong. I can say that I don't smoke, and it is true that it is not a good thing. But to tell you the truth, alcohol is much worse. Cigarettes do not drive you crazy. Alcohol does. It is a much bigger problem. Children are being raped, young girls, which doesn't happen if they smoke cigarettes. You come here to us to give us this message, but I just want to say that really irritates me is that the message that there is a public hearing comes to us so late, hence the fact that this hall is so empty. We are not forewarned in time to be here to attend these type of meetings. Also, you come to us with this bill, but actually it seems like you've already decided what you're going to do. It seems like a waste of time. We stand here, we give our input, you go back, you do exactly what you want. Parliament knows exactly what to say to please us. They mention us like the Khoisan in this bill, but they do nothing for us. Again, here we stand on a Sunday. We're supposed to be in church. That's what our community needs. But we waste our money and our time by being here trying to have an input about things that you've already decided. Just want to say that Cyril Ramaphosa is actually arrogant. He's an arrogant person. And I just want to say that there's more important things to listen to than cigarettes. I thank you.
Good day. Hello, good day everybody. My name is Kiran. Good day, my name is Kiran. I am an informal trader, and on the health perspective of this bill, I agree. Smoking is not good. I agree with that section. But in as far as the sale of single cigarettes, this is where I have a problem, and other speakers have mentioned that too. Cigarette smoking is a social ill. It's been happening for centuries. If we just cast our mind back a few years with the COVID, when cigarettes were banned, and then illicit cigarettes came in and people were prepared to pay 250, 300 rand for a packet of illicit cigarettes. Who benefited from that? Surely not the state of South Africa. We lost loads of money in decent excise tax. Then you compare the social ills, which is, somebody mentioned as well, alcohol. Are we going to see a bill soon where in off-sales bars, alcohol is going to be behind counters? Drugs is another thing. The prevalence of drugs in our society has caused so much social ills, alcohol and drugs, where children are born with alcohol syndrome. That is the danger, not loose cigarettes. And I ask that you take this bill back and go on the loose cigarettes. This is my point here, sir, Madam Sirs, is that people cannot afford to buy a packet of 20 or even a packet of 10 cigarettes, but they can afford to buy a packet of 20 illicit cigarettes for 10 rand. And this is what our traders are going to do. If they are banned from selling loose cigarettes, somehow they're going to get hold of illicit cigarettes, which is, it is of questionable quality, and they're going to be selling that to make business. So I ask you, in one question, sir, take the bill back, please, re-look at it, and concentrate more on the eradication of dangerous, and I say this without dangerous, illicit cigarettes. I thank you all. Thank you.
Goeiemôre, voorsitter en almal. My naam is David Reuters en ek is wijkkomitee lid in die Oudtshoorn munisipaliteit. Nou, ek ondersteun die wetsontwerp en die area waarop ek vanoggend wil vestig is die skoolopset. Nou in my wijk 7, is daar 5 skole. 2 hoërskole en 3 laerskole. En ek besoek die skole gereeld. Ek is op die oomblik die voorsitter van water en sanitasie, so u kan verstaan waarom ek die skole besoek. En die omstandighede rondom rook by die skole is dat die onderwysers rook, die kinders rook, die terrein lê vol twak stukkies. Die skool het nie voorsiening gemaak vir spesifieke area waar die onderwysers moet rook nie. Hulle sit in hulle karre, hulle sit ergens op 'n stoep. Die kinders kom met tabak van die huis af skool toe. Die beheerrade het nie 'n sterk mag om teen die kinders op te tree nie, want dit word nie beskou as so 'n ernstige voorval nie. So ek wil baie graag hê dat die departement van gesondheid en die departement van onderwys moet hard saamwerk om dit te stop, want in van die skole is daar meer as 1000 leerders en omtrent die helfte van die leerders rook. En wat meer is, langs die heininge van die skole staan daar mense wat die produkte verkoop. En daarteen word nog minder opgetree, want die skool bestuur is te besig daar in die klas, hulle kan nie buitekant sien wat. So ek ondersteun die bil en ek sal baie graag hê dat ons dit so gou as moontlik aanbied. Dankie.
Hoeveel hoërskole? 3 hoor, 5, ja, maar hoeveel is hoër? 3 hoog. Good morning. Good morning, Chair. Thank you very much for being here. My name is David Reuters, and I am a ward committee member from Oudtshoorn. I support the bill. But today I want to focus specifically on schools and the setup happening currently at schools. In my ward, there are 5 schools, of which 3 are high schools and 2 are primary schools. I visit these schools regularly in my capacity in water and sanitation that I'm responsible for within my ward. I can tell you straight out, when I get there, the teachers smoke. They smoke on the school grounds, which is littered with tobacco bits and cigarette butts, because there are no designated smoking area within the school grounds. Even the children, the learners, they smoke. For the simple reason that there's no one actually looking after the children and overseeing them and supervising them when they're on the school grounds. Even next to the fences, there are people from the outside selling the cigarettes to the learners through the fence. Some of these schools have got more than 1,000 learners, and the teachers are inside busy with their meetings and governing the school. Also, the school governing bodies doesn't have the power to act now and to do something about this problem. I seriously want to say that I think it's a problem, and I do want the Department of Education, together with you people from this portfolio committee, to address this problem of learners and of teachers smoking on the school grounds. Thank you.
Okay, just before that, thank you very much. If the participant who has just spoken will not be able to stay until the end of the meeting, please can you indicate what that information some of us would like to take to our honorable members who are working within the Department of, who are working with the Portfolio Committee of Basic Education, or even higher, we're up to basic education, even in high schools. Please, if I could just get someone to attend to that part and make sure that we take that with us back to engage. No. Can you interpret that, Max?
Daardie persoon wat nou gepraat het, indien u nie kan bly tot die einde van die vergadering nie en u moet gaan, asseblief kan u nie die nodige informasie van die skole ensovoorts net nou daar gaan ingee, sodat ons dit kan opneem met die Departement van Onderwys en die regte personeel. Baie dankie. Yes. As daar druk is vir enige iemand wat moet gaan, moet vertrek. Asseblief, voel vry om u besonderhede, u naam, u van, u adres ensovoorts, telefoonnommer te gee by die tafels, die personeel. 'n Geskrewe indien is net so goed soos 'n bydrae wat u mondelings lewer. So as u enigstens voel u het nie die tyd nie of u moet vertrek vir familieaangeleenthede, asseblief die tafels is daar van die parlement om u by te staan om verskriftelike insette. Dankie.
Goeiemôre. Ek is 'n gemeenskapsleier in die gemeenskap daar aan die kant van Oudtshoorn en ek is dankbaar en bly vanmôre vir so 'n geleentheid wat ons kan ons vra en ons sê kan sê en ek wil soos die vorige spreker sê, ons kan ook nie sê wat ons aan en af is met die bil nie en ons het baie probleme in ons gemeenskap met die rokery, waarvan ons kinders, die skoolkinders, dit is soos die vorige spreker gesê het, die kinders gaan met messe, tik en allerlei goedes wat drugs is, gaan hulle na die skole en as ons kyk na ons nuus, dan kan ons sien wat gebeur by skole. Baie kere by die winkeltjies. Ek is 'n roker. Ek vra nou my kind om vir my sigarette te gaan vra, te gaan koop. Maar nou kom, ek dink nie daaraan dat dit verkeerd is nie. So, wat ek eintlik wil sê is, die government het ons ouers en ons onderwysers, die polisie se hande is afgekap. Want in die eerste plek, 'n mens moet sê soos 'n ding is. Waarvan die government het gaan krap in die woord van God. En wat sê die woord vir ons? Jy kan niks byvoeg nie en jy kan ook niks wegneem nie. En van daai wet ingekom het, lyk ons se kinders soos hulle vandag is. Die Bybel beskryf die goed, dat die kind sal teen die ouer opstaan en die ouer teen die kind. Nou, hoe gaan die regering maak van onderwys en gesondheid om die kinders nou reg te kry, want dit het nou al ver gekom. Dit is nou klaar so, maar dit is weer eens 'n bewys, die gedagte van die government was nie by die woord van God nie, want hulle het gaan krap daarin om te sê dat die kinders het reg. En dit is hoekom ons land so deur mekaar is, as jy kyk in die baai, Johannesburg, Gqeberha, gaan kyk wat gebeur. Tot in Joburg, die kinders Jy dink as 'n speelgoed gun waar die kinders mee skiet, dan skiet hulle jou lyf dood. Dit is goed dat ek gesien het deur die dinge wat gebeur het. So ek sal bly wees as die government daarna ook kan kyk. Dan glo ek voorstelle, u kind is my kind en my kind is u kind weer. Want nou ons ouers, en as ek so praat, sê ek weer, ek praat van dinge wat ek sien en wat gebeur, is ek praat nou net met u kind hard, dan kom die ouer kom vra nie wat gebeur het nie, of ek praat oor sy rokery in die straat, of drink, want die kinders drink nou al 19 jaar. Ek was 25 jaar voor ek moet die goeders ook begin dit, maar toe sien ek vir my nee, agterna, dis nadelige dinge. So, ons moet regtig, wil ons sê, as ouers van die Weskaap, hier wil ek vra, as 'n leier binne die gemeenskap, dat die government moet ook daarna gaan kyk. Dan sal ons kinders ook nie meer rook nie, want ons het die wet van die Here moet ons toepas. Baie dankie.
Good morning, my name is Gert Goliath and I am a community member of Oudtshoorn. I want to thank you for the opportunity so that I can be here this morning to give my input. I cannot say this bill is either off or on. I can't say yes, I cannot say no. Because there's so many things so many other problems in our community. And I want to add, and I want to also join with what the previous person said with regards to schools specifically and our children. Like he said, it is not only cigarettes that the children come to school with, it's also knives and tik and other substances. I myself, I'm a smoker. Then I would ask my child to go and buy me cigarettes, unknowing that I'm doing something wrong. I know at this stage we are powerless because we didn't even know that we did something wrong. But I want to tell the government this morning that you stepped in where the Bible said you shouldn't meddle. The Bible says you cannot take away and you cannot add. How is the government now going to rectify this, where they gave children so many rights? If you look what's happening in Johannesburg and Gqeberha, there's shooting in the streets. The children are not protected. I will be very glad if the government can do something about that. I also believe strongly in the principle of your child is mine and mine is yours. We look after each other. Nowadays, if you look at 9 and 10-year-olds, they are already smoking. I only started when I was 25, but that is what happens if children get rights and we meddled where we shouldn't have. I'm asking the government that we must act by the law of the Bible. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and the committee members and everyone present. My name is Melanie Tembo. I'm from Ward 6 in Oudtshoorn, and I'm representing the Ward Committee in Oudtshoorn. I just want to raise 2 issues. We, as Ward 6, we accept the bill in its totality, but we just want to raise the question of Oka pipes. Oka pipes. We have a population of almost above 8,000 just now after the new recent population stats. More than 3/4 of them are young people and unemployed, and they live in the poverty-stricken side of our ward. Now, the recent tendency with Oka pipes, because it's freely available, is drugs. Young children put drugs inside the Oka pipes and they get addicted, heavily addicted. And as the previous speaker mentioned, these lead to terrible crimes in our community. And we want you to really look at how can you tighten the regulations on aqua pipes? Secondly, it's something just light. I worked in 17 African countries, and I visited Kenya. And oh my father, I wanted to smoke so badly. I saw the non-smoking signs in the hotel, and I couldn't smoke the previous because I arrived late. So I got up early, went down for breakfast. I went quickly outside and go and smoke. And oh my, I got arrested next to the hotel. I had to beg and I had to pay a fine for me to be released. Now, why I'm relating this story is that yes, we have our bills, we should tighten our regulations. So we accept the bill in its totality. Thank you.
Good morning, goeiemorgen, guten tag, molweni, I guess, salam alaikum. I am Anwar Solomons. I'm a ward committee member from Local Municipality representing Ward 9, which consists of the areas of the western part of Wesselsdorp, as well as the farming communities between Wesselsdorp and Oudtshoorn. And as a representative of Ward 9, I can say that we support this bill in totality. And yeah. There's just few issues that I have with the bill as it currently is, particularly sections 4, 5, and 15. The standardized packaging and labeling of tobacco products, and the packaging of labeling of tobacco services. I just find it weird that that section of the bill, it says that the tobacco products, they must have the warning labels, they must have the images and all that graphic stuff to discourage people from smoking. However, none of that is applicable to nicotine products, to vaping products, electronic devices. Meanwhile, in section 5, it says that the minister may make regulations, may include standardized packaging. May is not a direct action. May gives the minister option to put that warning signs and warning labels on vaping products. But we all know that a lot of vaping products, the reason why a lot of young people are using vaping products is because the packaging, the marketing, the display of the vaping products is aimed at a young audience. It is bright colors, they use graffiti art and all that stuff to attract young people to use vaping products. So I just want that section of the bill to not just address tobacco products. They must also put those warning labels, those images on nicotine products as well. And the other section is section 15, the regulation part. I just have a suggestion that vendors or businesses that sell tobacco and nicotine products, that they must also have a license. The same way there's a liquor license, right? Because people under 18 are not supposed to smoke nicotine or tobacco products. And the same group of people, young people, are not supposed to drink alcohol. So if there's the same way where there's an illegal shebeen or illegal alcohol vendor who sells alcohol to people under 18, their license can be revoked and they can be criminally charged for selling alcohol to under 18s. So we can make those regulations applicable to people who sell cigarettes as well. Because if they are found selling cigarettes and nicotine products to under 18s, they can also have their license revoked and also be criminally prosecuted because they went against the bill or the act. I work as a supervisor at a hostel, and on a daily basis, I catch young people, 14, 15, up to 17, with cigarettes in a hostel. And then when I confiscate from the cigarettes and vaping products from them, I ask them, where did they get this? Where did they get it? Most of the time, they tell me they got it from this shop, from that shop, from that shop. Because there's no regulations currently for the small businesses, for the businesses that sell nicotine and tobacco products. So if there's a license that tells this business he must sell it to people above 18, and if you break this part of the law, your license will be taken away. That business will no longer be allowed to sell nicotine products in general, because they allowed to sell these products. So yeah, in short, I support this bill in its totality.
Thank you very much. Before we come to this section, maybe I just want to explain one part. We were educated by those who came before us that public hearings on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people say they are at work and we can't find them available to engage with us. We also would have loved to go to places of worship, but we listened to that type of an advice and chose a Sunday and Saturday. So just want to explain to that member, it's not because we didn't want you to be in places of worship. Number two, that's when I started this meeting, I requested if there was anybody from municipalities, because before we come to a public hearing, the leadership of municipalities are well aware of those visits and using what we call community participation themselves. They inform the community that there will be members of parliament. So we just add on by sending another delegation of parliamentary staff to do that. But municipalities, if they are going to be visited by parliament, they come to know that part much earlier. And it is their responsibility to add on to spreading the message to the citizens. We even get a direction from municipalities whether you must send 2 vans to Otswarren, another 5 to Tembale, to Bongole, to anywhere. Then we get that direction coming in from the municipality, because they then guide us that you may not provide everything, but please critically go there, then pick up. So I want us to clarify that part. We will not always call you on a Sunday. We will always contact municipalities when we come in here.
Ook daarom net graag voordat ons met die tweede ronde aangaan, net 'n paar punte maak oor kwessies wat gelig is in die eerste ronde. En die een is, ons is die raad gegee om vir maksimum deelname naweke te gebruik vir hierdie openbare verhore. Want weksdae is baie van hierdie werk en ons wil graag hê dat julle hier moet kan wees. Ja, ons sou ook graag vandag kerk toe wou gaan het, maar hier is ons nou en ons doen dit want dit die raad wat aan ons gegee is. En dan tweedens, daar klagtes oor die feit dat julle onlangs eers ingelig is van hierdie verhoor. Die inligting wat ons uitstuur, wat ons beskikbaar maak van ons besoek, dit is sekondêr. Dit is bloot bykomend tot die feit dat julle reeds die inligting gegee is of behoort gegee te word deur die plaaslike munisipaliteite. So ons skakel met die plaaslike munisipaliteite. Hulle sê vir ons hoeveel mense van elke area, van elke wijk gaan daar kom. Hulle sê vir ons waarheen om presies te stuur om mense op te tel. En die inligting wat julle van ons afgekry het, is net bykomend. Julle behoort reeds daarvan ingelig te geword het en dit alles word in samewerking met die plaaslike munisipaliteit gedoen.
Enye ke into ebesifuna ukuyicacisa bahlali yile nto kubana iinkokheli zoomasipala ibazizo eziye zithi zazise uluntu xa ipalamente izozondwendwelwa kuloo dolophu iza kuza kuyo. Bendithi masicacise loo nto into yoba siye sixhulumane noomasipala ibe ngabo ababhengeza kuluntu. Yaye siye sathi ke xa sifumanisa sijonga mhlambi usuku lwangomvulo phakathi evekini, safumanisa into yokubana uluntu oluninzi alufumaneki ngezo ntsuku. Ingako ke siye sabona ukuba sikhethe olu suku lwangecawe, ngoba nokuba mhlambi kuye kufumaniseka into yoba kuzawufunwa izithuthi mhlambi ezizawuthi ziyolanda uluntu mhlambe Otswarren, siye sixhulumane noomasipala ibe ngabo abasa iinkcukacha eluntwini. Enkosi.
Thank you very much. This time around, we are going to give an opportunity to our citizens sitting on this side. Nabo bathi babe nento nezimvo zabo abazosibeka. Make ndijonge ke ndikhangele aba bafuna ukuthetha. Those who would like to engage the portfolio committee, please raise your hands.
Ngoku ke bahlali sizawujongana nelicala lingapha sive uluntu ba lizawuthini na simamele izimvo zabo. Sicela abantu baphakamise izandla.
Okay. Those like the gentleman Udlamin, Francio, and the gentleman behind Francio, because of you being the national interest, follow us. I'll give you last. Let's deal with this lot now who are new hands. Come through, we'll want to listen to you later. All those with hands, come and take now, come and take the seats in the middle. Any seat, come there and take those seats.
Aba baphakamise izandla sicela bahlale apha estikini. Ndiyabulela.
So die mense aan hierdie kant het nou 'n geleentheid, neem plekke in die middel by die stoele asseblief.
Right. Okay, the line is going that way. Fine, that's okay. So that gentleman who's standing there would have to manage the line that they move in there. Can I therefore check those who follow the queue, follow the sun, Francia, all those other South Africans who are coming in from all over the country who want to still engage with us, Francia, you being one of them, lift up your hands.
Kan die wat nog met wil praat wat ons al volg van die begin af u hande opsteek asseblief.
No, where's the mean? There are 5 hands. It's the 2 and the 2 and that one, Uzamini. Go and sit next to, stand up, Bab, you, the last one. Yeah, you stand up there. The line will then, Francois, start there. Go and sit there at the back row so that we are also allocating you spaces. Go there. Yes.
So die laaste mense gaan neem plek in agter asseblief.
Sicela niyohlala kula mqolo wokugqibela enzabe umgca uqale phaya.
You want to speak first? Go sit there so long. You tell the guy who's managing the queue that there's one in the bathroom who's coming in.
Ungabuyohlala phaya okwangoku uzakwazisa uba ukhona omnye ozayo saphumele ngaphandle.
Right. So the line will then move this way. So, the gentleman on the front, number 1, as soon as you come to the mic, the chair that you are occupying is no longer yours. The gentleman behind you will then move to the front. So that is how it moves. You don't sit until there's 2 chairs in front of you. As soon as someone is in the mic, you then come. Francia, what you are doing there, I always don't approve of. There are chairs there open. Go and sit there. Yeah. Fill up there before we can go. Yes. Yeah. So that we can count nice. So when that chair get up to the mic, the guy next to you comes into your chair, and then you go back to your chair when you finish. Introduce yourself, where you come from, who you are. I support, I do not support. These are my views. And now know that the line is coiling at the back. So you would just have to be on the point and then give other colleagues an opportunity and other members of the society an opportunity. You speak in any language you like. If you engage us in English, you are done. If you then do any other language, there will be interpretation that must be given to us. All right. Interpreters ready.
Ndicela ke uzawuza ngaphambili uzazise uzichaze uba ungubani wakwabani utsho uba uyawuxhasa lo mthetho uyilwayo okanye awuxhasi na, sinqwenela ukuva izimvo zakho. Ndicela ke luntu lwakuthi sithi gqabagqaba ngoba siyawubona uba umgca mde phaa ngaphambili. Enkosi.
Thank you, Chair, and the rest of the committee for the opportunity to present to you today. So I am from the Western Cape, and I reside in Ward 46. My name is Professor Praneet Velodia. I currently am a healthcare consultant to numerous companies nationally and internationally, including Philip Morris, South Africa. I'm an adjunct professor at the University of the Western Cape. As a scientist and a healthcare professional, I am going to speak about the research related to these non-combustible nicotine products. For example, nicotine pouches, e-cigarettes, and the heat-not-burn product. I reject the bill in terms of the non-combustible nicotine products based on the research that I'm going to present to you today. So, in December last year, the United States Food and Drug Administration, abbreviated as FDA, authorized a product called a nicotine pouch. Now, the FDA is the world's leading authority in the regulation of these non-combustible nicotine products. They've also authorized 36 e-cigarettes and its devices, and this was based on scientific evidence and the benefit to public health. Now, the FDA uses a parameter called APPH, which stands for the Appropriate Protection of Public Health. Now, this standard incorporates the net benefit to the public. And it takes this into account by taking the benefits and the risks of these non-combustible products to the population as a whole, including the youth. I would like to emphasize that the use of these non-combustible nicotine products in the youth has already been incorporated in this parameter, in the net benefit to public health. So I would like to present three aspects of research very briefly. The first evidence is the toxicological evidence produced by the FDA. Now, for an example, and this principle can apply to many of the products, but for example, the heat-not-burn product. Now, the heat-not-burn product has a small amount of tobacco in it. The tobacco is heated and not burnt. So because of the absence of combustion, the FDA has reported that there was a 82% less potential carcinogens in the aerosol of the heat-not-burn product compared to a combustible cigarette. I emphasize 82% less potential, 82% less potential carcinogens. The FDA also reported that there was 92% less respiratory toxicants in the aerosol of the heat-not-burn product compared to 31 combustible cigarettes marketed in USA. So, in conclusion, the FDA indicate that there was 60% actually, 60% to 99% less toxicants in the heat-not-burn product compared to combustible cigarettes. The second evidence is
complete because you are on 4 minutes on just one point. You have taken 4 minutes, you have only one. Sure. Summarize the two on that last minute. Okay.
Okay. So I'll make two recommendations. South Africa, like the FDA, should create a separate category for the regulation of these non-combustible nicotine products. They should not be treated the same like the current bill does. And this is based on the evidence by the FDA. The second recommendation is that I was going to present to you the information about the Cochrane collaboration. However, if non-combustible products or the e-cigarettes are more effective than nicotine replacement therapy, which is standard of care, based on quit rates, based on what the Cochrane collaboration has reported as the world's leading authority on the systematic review of the evidence. And so it's more effective. And the Cochrane collaboration also reported that the adverse events, the frequency of adverse events was similar between non-combustible products and e-cigarettes. Now, based on this evidence, I believe that we have a moral obligation to promote the use of the non-combustible nicotine products to adult smokers who cannot quit cigarettes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bulela Vava. I represent the Public Oral Health Forum. We are a collection of oral health professionals predominantly working in the state. The relationship between tobacco use and the increased prevalence of oral diseases, particularly oral cancer and periodontitis, is well documented and understood. The manifestation of oral diseases linked to tobacco use significantly impacts the quality of life, health, and well-being of affected individuals. Sufficient literature exists that points to the indisputable link between oral disease and several other impacts related to smoking. Smokers are at a higher risk of complications related to major oral or minor oral surgery due to the effect that smoking has on wound healing, significantly contributing to the cost of care. The Public Oral Health Forum supports the bill with several recommendations. Any act is only effective to the extent that those sectors tasked with its enforcement are empowered to do so. Therefore, we encourage lawmakers to ensure effective support to build all government capacity to implement and enforce the law. The illicit tobacco industry continues to undermine population health efforts, and all efforts are needed to stem the tide. All healthcare facilities should be designated smoke-free zones with designated smoking zones and agreed distance from the main buildings and public areas. The Public Oral Health Forum appreciates the economic implications associated with a ban on tobacco products, but this is not the intention of this bill. This bill seeks to regulate and control the sale, marketing, and use of these products. As such, we support the prohibition of the public display of tobacco products, the regulation of their marketing through the use of appealing packaging, and the need for a graphic depiction of the health effects, including oral health effects of tobacco use, with a clear warning label on the packages of all tobacco-related products. The cost of tobacco use far exceeds the amount of tax revenue generated through the collection of taxes, a significant portion of which is paid by the consumer. The cost and consequences of tobacco lie with the majority of the economically vulnerable consumers who do not only pay their financial health, but their lives and health. It is also worth noting that vulnerable populations spend a significant portion of their limited income on tobacco, leading to economic hardships for themselves and their families.
As I conclude,
As I conclude indeed, any government with the lives of its people in its hands needs to weigh, in consultation as we are doing here, the benefits and risks that may or may not be attributed to the implementation of laws in the public interest. While we need to forever balance economic interests and those of broader society at large, it remains a challenge. However, we call on our lawmakers to remember there is no price for a human life cut short by tobacco use, and that the most valuable unit of any thriving economy is a healthy and productive society. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, together with your team. My name is Tinashe Njanji. I am the coordinator of an organization called the People's Health Movement, which is PHM in short. In PHM, we are quite concerned with how accessible are tobacco products. It has gotten out of hand as unregulated outlets are all over. The outlets got no mechanism in place to check whether they are selling to the rightful people. Cigarettes are being sold to youngsters who are underage, as far as 10-year-olds. There is no monitoring in place, as I've said. Myself personally, as a father, I've got 2 sons. I don't want my sons to be exposed to cigarettes or any other tobacco product at an early age. I would like the bill to be put in place so that we can regulate the age where kids can access tobacco products. Cigarettes contains 7,000 dangerous chemicals, of which 70 of those chemicals are linked to cancers. Smoking also causes a number of other diseases, which includes stroke, hypertension, obesity, and many more. Smoking is also a gateway to explore drugs, and we know the effects of drugs in our community. As the People's Health Movement, we support the bill as it is going to save our lives, many lives. It's going to reduce tobacco use in our community. It's going to protect those who are non-smokers. We have been misled by the market and the industry by glorifying tobacco products through glamorous, colorful outlets advertising. Therefore, regulating advertising, as suggested by the bill, with clearly written packages, will be a step forward in doing the injustice that has been done by the business on these toxic products. In conclusion, the Department of Health is spending way more amount of money in curing and related illnesses of tobacco. Therefore, we stand in support of the bill. Thank you.
A very good afternoon. This is David Sikelo Nongoko. I'm working at Sahara. Sahara is a program that is working with people who want help to stop drinking and smoking. I support the bill because of the fact that I can give a testimony of myself. I also used to be a smoker since 1984 when I started to smoke. In the early 90s, I found out my one lung is suffering. I had a choice to make, whether I stop or I continue. But unfortunately, I wasn't well equipped with information as to where to go in order for me to stop smoking. So I continued smoking up until 3 years ago. I joined Sahara, which helped me also to stop drinking and smoking. We also deal with young people whom started to smoke cigarettes, ended up smoking these bubbly, they call them. They find themselves now even smoking dacha. They use the ochre papes and they would put in that dacha, which is heavier than the cigarettes, which they started from. So we see the challenge as people who work with these children. Some will come to me, personally to me, and come to seek for help, because we always preach this in the clinics, that there is help which is for free. We also ask the government to support us, because we only have people that are funding us from Canada. They are just helping us so that we can help those whom need help. So I support the bill because of the fact that I see the challenge where the tobacco is causing danger to our lives. To the young ones, whom we have to concentrate more on, whom are the future of tomorrow, whom are the presidents of tomorrow. I thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Todingani. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. I am Todingani Koko. I am from Canaland. Come closer. Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. I am Todingani Koko from Canaland. I am a ward committee member there. I stand here to support the bill in its totality. However, I want to raise the following and propose that the government tighten the rules around access, because the age at which we see the children smoking these days is shocking. You happen to see children at the age of 7, 9, 10 smoking in public. Therefore, if you get to the spaza shops that are selling cigarettes, there is no control there. Anyone can come and sell to young children, so no one is holding those shops accountable. That is what we want the bill to hold those people accountable. The other one is the vaping or the ochre pipes, which now the smokers are abusing, because instead they are adding their own stuff in those ochre pipes, and later those smokers become like malmense. Therefore, I thank you.
Okay.
There is one individual, I think, in the table, there was always fiddling with the mics. Just either switch it off or use it, because it is fiddling and making noise to all of us. The mic somewhere, not here.
It is tall.
Yabulisa kuni nonke.
Igama lam nguLindani. Ifani yam tata ngumsika eMonti, but apha ndifikele eMossel Bay eAsla.
My name is Lindani Tatangu. I'm originally from East London, but I am now residing in
Asla, Mossel Bay.
Mossel Bay.
Namhlanje ndizathetha phambi kwale topic ethi icuba bemebalithengiselwa abantu abadala.
I'm going
Hayi
to.
hayi hayi yenza nje mntakwethu, hlala phansi ubhale uzomamela.
Okay.
Hlala phansi ubhale athethe ezigqiba.
Okay.
Then you come and tell us.
I agree with the bill because, first of all, I'm going to speak of my testimony. I started smoking at an early age, and smoking led to other drug substances, e.g. was alcohol and itik and marijuana. So I emphasize and I ndithanda ugxininisa uba abantu mabangalithengisi icuba kwabantu abancinci because ilahlekisa i-society kwaye isikolo uye ungakwazi uconcentrate kakhulu because ixesha elininzi once uqala icuba uye kwezinye izinto uspende ixesha lakho elininzi entsangweni and itya ixesha loo nto ikunciphise nalapha engqondweni ungakwazi ufunda kakuhle. Nango-2016 ndandikhe ndadiagnoswa yi-TB laa nto ka-puff and pass usebenzisa icuba ebelisetyenziswa ngomnye umntu. So icuba mna ndiyaligxeka mvanje. Enkosi.
I would like to emphasize on the fact that cigarettes should not be sold to young people or the youth at large because it affects them, especially when one is schooling. You do not concentrate in school and it affects your well-being as a whole, because I was also once affected in 2016. I would like to emphasize that cigarettes should not be sold to young people. Thank you.
Mic must always stay on, please. That just one. The rest can then be off.
Good day, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andre van Zyl, and I'm the owner of 4 tobacco shops and 2 sweets and tobacco shops. Approximately 50% of the turnover of the sweets and tobacco shops is tobacco related. These shops are strategically located in the main malls of Plettenberg Bay and Knysna. I started my first shop in 2008, and I'm proud to say that one of my staff members from that initial stop is still working for me. Our business contributes significantly to the economy, paying around 900,000 Rand a year in taxes to SARS. We currently employ 22 individuals, of whom 20 are previously disadvantaged and 18 are single mothers with fathers not paying alimony. Our company provides more than just employment. We offer financial assistance for their essential needs, such as school uniforms, stationery, matric farewell dresses, and even construction of their homes to those staffs in need. A poignant example of our community support is a staff member's daughter, Chantal, who was born with a cleft palate. Chantal required frequent surgeries in Cape Town, and we took it upon ourselves to cover the cost of travel, accommodation, meals for both Micheline and Chantal. Additionally, Chantal is an exceptional dancer who has represented the province, and we have consistently supported her financially for travels. I'm sharing these details to illustrate the profound impact that my businesses have had on the community. The proposed new tobacco legislation threatens the very existence of these businesses and the community support they provide. The impact of the illegal tobacco trade has already been catastrophic for my business. If it were not for the increase in vape sales, we would not be operational today. However, if the regulation on vapes become overly stringent, especially concerning flavored vapes, the illegal trade will thrive with substandard products, which would eventually lead to the demise of our businesses. While I appreciate the necessity for legislation to evolve with the times, I implore on you not to make it excessively stringent. Such draconian measures will spell the end for our businesses, and meanwhile, the illegal trade will not only continue but flourish, turning the vaping industry into their next exploit. Thank you for considering my appeal.
Yeah, good afternoon. Igama lam ndinguThobela Disi. Ndisuka ePlainbig Big Ward 6. Eyami into shortly. Into endiyizelayo ndiyayixhasa ibill. Kodwa ndiyixhasa ngaphansi koba ndiyibulela icandelo lezempilo elithe lawujonga lafumanisa into yoba kukhona okwenzekayo xa uthe watshaya icuba liye liaffecte iziphunga zakho. Ya ndizama ukuthi ke kube kusaphina kubantwana abancinci xa betshaya icuba. Komnye unyaka kwakho into ethi umuntu otshaya esidlangalaleni makabanjwe, because utshaya esidlangalaleni ubulala yena abulale nomnye umuntu njengoba besekutshiwo. Ndijonge la 8 million yabantu abafumaniseke bayagula lelicuba. Ndizama ukuthi ndiphinde ndiqhwabela izandla icandelo lezempilo lo monitorisha lo ujonga ukuthi icuba eli ewe ukhona umuntu obenefitayo kulo kodwa likwanayo nento yokubulala apha ebantwini. Enkosi kakhulu.
Greetings, my name is Thobela Desi. I am from Plettenberg Bay, Ward 6. I support the bill, and I would like to say thank you to the Department of Health for this initiative, because they saw that smoking affects your lungs and is dangerous at large. So how much more than to young kids? My main worry is also about the 8 million people who die because of cigarettes. Again, I would like to say I support the bill and I salute the department, especially for health monitoring purposes. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cedric Adams, and I'm from the Pakkersdorp local forum, that is the business forum in Pakkersdorp. Yes, the bill, I can't say that I'm supporting the bill. Neither can say that I'm not supporting it, because my first question that I need to ask from the government, did they consider the unemployment? Secondly, did they consider the effect this will have as a bill in our economy? Our previous speaker spoke about how many people are employed and how much money he's contributing his business. It's 9,000, it's almost 1 million rand per year. Now I need to ask Parliament, before I go to the people on the ground, did you consider this, that this bill might bring a massive unemployment in our country or in our areas where we work? The issues of accessibility, that you can debate, that can be dealt with. But there is certain parts in this bill that needs drastically to be changed and to be regulated. As the professor has stated, he has stated there is some positives in terms of this, and the FDA needs to do his job. But my problem that I'm having is that we, as much as Parliament, we've got a responsibility to the community and to the public. We also do have a responsibility to create employment and to have the economy of South Africa that is currently not in a good position. Are we saying that that 900,000 rand of Mr. Van Zyl business is going to vanish from this earth if this bill is being regulated? Are we saying that? That is R1 million. And I'm saying you've gone all over South Africa and we don't know how many businesses like Mr. Van Zyl is there. We are not saying that we entertaining, but let us not undermine and support the illicit industry with this bill, please. I thank you.
Is it afternoon? Yes. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon to the chairperson, also the committee on public health. Thank you so much for organizing this. My name is Tabam Phala, not Phala Phala. I am from an organization called Clear the Air. We are looking into the illicit aspect of the tobacco trade. The biggest concerns that we have in the bill is that on Section 8, particularly 8.2, is not really addressing the aspect of illicit trade, and I think that's what we need to be looking into. There are 3 points or 3 things that we thought that could really add into the bill so that it becomes a stronger bill. The first one we're looking at, if the bill does it express the illicit tobacco trade. We looked at it, we couldn't find that it actually explicitly indicates the illicit trade, despite the significant impact that illicit trade has on the health and also on the economy as well. Some of the previous speakers have actually mentioned that now. Number 2, we're then saying that there needs to be stricter regulations and legal tobacco, on illegal tobacco products, that we know that they're fueling those illicit tobacco trades. Colleagues, I just want to also remind you that, remember when COVID happened, that we had the lockdowns. Now, all those lockdowns created a huge market for illicit trade to happen. Because remember, tobacco or smoking was not what did you call it later? Not, yes, the term that the health department was using. Right? And there was a huge influx of illicit tobacco trade. Now that created a lot of health problems for people today. Also, it affected our economy. We know that, from 2018, we even actually lost about 18 billion due to the tax losses from VAT alone. And we're not even talking about the other taxes that we have, whether like your company tax or any other taxes that we could look at. The third submission is that there is no clear strategy in the bill for collaboration between government, law enforcement, and the revenue authorities to curb the illicit tobacco trade. So there is no clarity in the bill that actually says that this is how we're going to do to curb that illicit tobacco trade. Chairperson, earlier on you mentioned that the research that was done by the World Health Organization on the number of people that are dying. You said it was about 8 million of people in the world. We haven't even narrowed it down to South Africa alone. However, if we were to curb the illicit flow of tobacco in the country, what we are then learning from the same report that you are mentioning, it states that 164,000 of people are actually dying as a result of those illicit tobacco trade. Right? So which means those tobacco products are killing people, and there's that contribution, and that amounts to about 2% of that. But if we're then able as a nation to then work together with the law enforcement authorities, as yourselves, as the committee, and society at large, to do that, then we can reduce massively the number of people that are actually dying from those illicit tobacco trades that are harmful to the society. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, all. My name is Martinez. My surname is Borges. I'm from a place called Grootrakrivier. I'm in the retail industry, so I cover the whole area. The bill, 30%. Our unemployment rate in South Africa currently is above 30%. We've got the highest, the second highest unemployment rate in the world. If you walk into a supermarket today, and you walk into that cigarette kiosk or the vaping kiosk, have you ever wondered how many people is employed by that little kiosk in a supermarket, and what the effect that supermarket kiosk, the income it generates for the people who works there. I just don't support the bill. I think it's going to have a negative effect on our unemployment rate. And also, as the previous speaker have said, that why not put more focus onto the illicit tobacco trade? I don't think the bill will completely stop people from smoking. I think it will increase the illegal sales of tobacco products. I thank you.
I'm greeting everyone with respect. I'm from Mossel Bay. I'm here to support the bill. Because I have seen the impact of this tobacco product. I have a story to tell. My brother was smoking happily, hookah pipe, firstly, and he was 16 years old. He was a person that said, I will never smoke drugs and cigarette. He was a clever person on school, and he was doing grade 8, if I remember. After 6 months, he smoked hookah pipe. I received a call from my mother. He said he smokes drugs now and cigarettes. He even dropped out at school. He doesn't even want to stay with his mom. He stays out of street. He loses his dreams and goals of his life. I think this bill will change a younger people's lives because he even doesn't even have grey hair. I think if this bill we can support, there's so many impact can happen in our country, and people will, I think, will have more opportunities to work.
Ndiyabulisa igama lam ndingulakhanya Malangeni ndihlala eMossel Bay. Ndiyayisapota le bill ngoba kulutsha abantwana bayatshaya. Ndiyisapota nje ndifuna kwiminyaka ezayo kubekho utshintsho kwi-generation. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Lakhanya Malangeni. I am from Mossel Bay. I support the bill because the youth is affected by cigarette use. I support the bill mainly because I want to see change in the near future. I thank you.
Good morning. Why I support the tobacco bill? But firstly, my name is Rustin. I'm from Cape Town, Cancer. I'm here today because the bill isn't about cigarettes, it's about justice. Big Tobacco has spent decades profiting off addiction, targeting our younglings with candy-flavored vapes, glossy ads, and lies. They've turned our towns into open-air ashtrays, our clinics into overcrowded wards for preventable diseases, and our poorest communities into cash cows for their shareholders. This bill slams the door on their playbook. Plain packaging, I ask, that strips away the glamour that the product kills every 1 in 2 people of its users. Banning public smoking, I'll ask again. It's not a nanny state nonsense. It's giving workers in a taxi rank or a restaurant the right to breathe air that won't give them cancer. Let's talk numbers. Tobacco drains about 20 billion, that's big numbers, a year from our economy. That's nearly 2% of our annual GDP. Imagine rerouting that into clinics, schools, or jobs, like everyone else is very concerned of. Imagine a generation of South Africans who never start smoking because they're not bombarded with ads telling them that it's cool. This isn't just a policy, it's a rebellion. Countries like Australia and New Zealand proved that it works. Smoking rates plummet when you refuse to let big tobacco bully society. As a proud South Africans deserve that same change. The question, or rather in conclusion, is Nelson Mandela once said, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived, it's that we make a difference in the lives in those around us. And this bill is our chance to make that difference. So can we please choose to protect our people and not protect the profits of those that bully us? Can we please choose life? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good day, Chair and members of the community. My name is Tato Mako. I'm from South African Tobacco Free Youth Forum. In conclusion, Chair, the bill is a public health policy invested in the joint scientific and practical knowledge of the FCTC treaty parties, which South Africa is part of. We do acknowledge Article 15 of the FCTC and would like to give clarity on the market of illicit trade as well. Chairperson, I would like to quote from Mr. Francois van der Merwe. He says that the mainstream tobacco industry is the one that is floating our country with illicit tobacco, which is true because the tobacco industry does not declare 54% of their products to SARS. And also address the issue that the same 54% of informal traders have agreed that they are selling illicit tobacco to boost their own sales. My advice as in this conclusion is that tobacco industry must support this legislation. And they must remember, it's a free economic advice that the characteristics of an inherently stable market is simple, basic as good regulations. And this tobacco control bill is the only legislation in the world, or even in South Africa, that is able to ensure that public health is safe and also the industry continues to benefit some profits. Thank you very much.
Ngibingelele usihlalo, ngibingelele nekomiti, ngibingelele nomphakathi waseGeorgia. Igama lami ngiwuMenenhle waDlamini, ngiqhamuka kwinhlangano yakwa-Cancer Association of South Africa. Inhlangano le esiza abantu ngokulwisana nesifo somdlavuza. Ngicela nje ngokuqala ngokubonga ithuba, ngiphinde futhi ngibonge usihlalo nekomiti lonke lakhe ngokuqiniseka ukuthi bayazivakashela zonke izifundazwe, baphinde futhi banike abantu ithuba lokuthi beze bazobeka uvo lwabo mayelana nalomthetho sivivinyo. Sihlalo siyinhlangano thina yakwa-Cancer, i-vision yethu is to lead South Africa towards a cancer-free society. Loko kusho ukuthini? Loko kusho ukuthi siyaweseka ngokuphelele lo mthetho osivivinyo. Eminye imisebenzi esiyenzayo, siyesivakashele imiphakathi, lapho sisuke siqwashisa khona, sifundisa imiphakathi ngey'nhlobo ezahlukene zesifo somdlavuza. ikakhulukazi imdlavuza ehamba phambili ekuhlaseleni abantu besifazane kanye nabantu besilisa eNingizimu Afrika. Sihlalo ngiyaphi nalenkulumo ukufundisa abantu noma ukuqwashisa abantu ngobungozi bukagwayi akukho enough ekwehliseni izifo lezi ezidalwa ugwayi nezindodla zemali lezi ezichithwa umnyango wezempilo ezama ukulwisana nezifo lezi ezidalwa ugwayi. Siyayidinga imithetho noma umthetho ozofaka isandla ulekelele uphinde futhi uvikele intsha kanye nesizukulwane esilandelayo ebungozini bukagwayi. Iphinde futhi ibavikele odadewethu nobhuti bethu abancane kwizimboni noma izinkampani lezi ezakhala ama-products anobungozi, ziphinde futhi ziwakhe noma ziwakhangise ngendlela ezoheha intsha. Sihlalo sengiphetha nje kubuhlungu ukuzwa nokubona abazali bethu beza ngaphambili bezophikisana nalomthetho osiviviyo. Mina nje njengosohlala kahle ezinye zezinkinga sihlangabezana nazo mesey'koleni noma emphakathini kuyefike bona abazali besitshele ngey'nkinga ababhekene nazo emakhaya. Ezinye zey'nkinga lezo ugwayi, bathi ingane seyiqala zincane ukubhema ugwayi lokho okholela ekutheni zihluphe emakhaya. Kodwa futhi ngiyamangala mase kuyibona abazali futhi abazalanga phambili bazophikisana nemizamo eyenziwa umnyango wezempilo ukuvikela ingane zabo ebungozini bukagwayi nokuthi ziqale ukubhema zincane. Ngiyabonga.
Greetings, my name is Minenhle Dlamini. Greetings to the chairperson and the committee at large. I am from the Cancer Association South Africa that combats cancer. I'd like to thank the committee at large for going to all the provinces to go and take this bill. We support the bill fully as a cancer association. We also visit communities to educate about cancer, and we warn people about the effects of tobacco use. However, we say in as much as the government is doing a lot to inform people about the dangers of tobacco use, that is not enough, because we need a law that will prevent the youth and the next generation from tobacco use. We also need to protect our women as well in South Africa from tobacco use. One of the main issues is that parents also complain that their kids smoke cigarettes from a young age. So it puzzles me now when some of the parents actually come here and they are not in support of the very same bill that will assist the children and make them stay away from tobacco use. Thank you.
Good day, Chair. My name is Dr. Sharon Yatanza. I'm a public health lawyer specializing as well in public health policy. And I work with the National Council Against Smoking, not against smokers, but against smoking and against the industry that keeps fueling the problem. Chair, the debate will continue to go on. But there are things that I thought are very important as the Chair considers this, not just to consider the submissions made, but to also consider conflicts of interest. Because there are a lot of contradictions as well in terms of people submitting and the things that they also submit. You hear, Chair, for example, that committee that illicit trade is the cause of farmers or even processors losing their jobs. And that is not true. South Africa, especially through the VAT factory, are the largest importers, and also the VAT are the largest exporters of cigarettes. And actually, they actually need a lot of leaf to do so, and they have the capacity, for example, to buy the leaf. South Africa is actually also the 10th largest importer of tobacco, raw tobacco leaf in the world. In 2022, for example, it imported $272 million worth of raw tobacco leaf. Yet we hear farmers complaining that we're losing jobs because of illicit trade, even processors complaining that it's illicit trade. And that really is not the problem. The processors, the manufacturers in SA have the capacity to buy all the leaf. They have the capacity even to provide jobs for all the processors. They just choose not to. The data just shows, for example, that they import the leaf mainly from Brazil, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Zambia. Why am I highlighting this? Just to show you that there's always much more behind the story. BAT, for example, on its website, it actually confirms that cigarette making was once done by hand, but it's now fully automated. So that is not the bill, and that is not illicit trade. I think one of my colleagues already mentioned that tobacco companies are not paying tax on over half of their products. That is what the majority of illicit trade is. So the same companies cannot come and cry wolf when they actually are benefiting significantly from the problem. So in conclusion, Chair, the debate will go on. There's always going to be a conflict of rights. For example, commercial people complain that they have a right to communicate, they have a right to trade. Even smokers will say we have a right to personal autonomy, which is true. And their rights definitely are important in a democratic society. But these rights are not and have never been absolute. Any right, whether we're talking about regulating vapes. I mean, I talked to a student and I asked her, why do you vape? Why do you hang around with this thing? And she said, it's part of the outfit. When I have my frontal wig, when I have my iPhone, I need a vape. So are we saying ban vapes? No, we're saying regulate vapes. So there will always be a conflict, but all rights in South Africa can be limited as long as it's reasonable, as long as it's justifiable to do so, and we have enough precedent. So our plead is, yes, the bill is important. Yes, regulating is important. Yes, consultation is important. But we just want to emphasize that it's not only important, but it's urgent. And after considering all these factors, all these debates, we have to choose and say, is it reasonable? Is it justifiable to limit these rights and promote public health? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honourable members of the committee. I'd first like to say thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to speak, and congratulations on finally completing this leg. I know it's your family time, and it's also a huge dedication, so thank you very much for that. My name is Kurt Yo. I am the co-founder of a movement that I started in 2017 called Vaping Saved My Life. It is quite easy for me to say that I reject this bill because I don't believe that it provides a clear enough daylight between combustible cigarettes and non-combustible nicotine products. The only part of the bill that I would definitely include or keep is obviously the sale and the supply of any nicotine products to people under the age of 18. I was rather perplexed while we were listening to some of the submissions here, how correctly stated by you, Dr. Glomore, that there was a third amendment of the 1993 tobacco bill. And in that third amendment, we increased the sale and the supply of combustible tobacco products from 16 to 18, as well as we banned the promotion of tobacco products. So this just tells me, given the fact that we've heard kids smoking in school, kids smoking at all, clearly indicates to me that there's a communication issue here, an education issue here, and an enforcement issue here. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the most recent evidence that has come through from vaping or e-cigarettes. Prof. Praveen here spoke about the Cochrane Collab. Cochrane Collab has been asking this very same question since 2012. Can e-cigarettes help people quit smoking? On the 29th of January 2025, Cochrane released their 8th review on this question. The 8th review of this question stuck with the 7th review, that with high certainty, e-cigarettes can and is more effective in helping people quit smoking than the current authorized approach, nicotine replacement therapy. I've printed a copy, which I will then leave with the desk over there. Okay, unfortunately, it's not 363 pages. This is just the summary, but it will allow you to do that. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is that unfortunately, when that review, the Cochrane review, had closed off its search, another randomized controlled trial was conducted in Switzerland, where they looked at e-cigarettes versus cessation support in the Switzerland context. And this is the report that indicates that e-cigarettes are far more effective than cessation support in the Switzerland context. That's not included in the Cochrane. But what's also very important around this is that Professor Nancy Rigotti from Harvard Medical School was part of the Cochrane's 9th review, wrote a letter to all medical professionals around the world. And I know that there are members on this committee that are medical professionals and are doctors. I choose not to read this entire letter, but I'd like to read the very last paragraph, if you will allow me to. Remember that Professor Nancy Rigotta has been around for many decades, and she's a specialist in smoking and e-cigarettes.
As you close, you read that paragraph for us.
Can I? Thank you. It is now time for the medical community to acknowledge the progress and add e-cigarettes to the smoking cessation toolkit. Clinicians should be prepared to have a risk-benefit discussion about e-cigarettes with their patients who smoke and recommend a trial of the products in appropriate situations. US public health agencies and professional medical societies should reconsider their cautious position on e-cigarettes for smoking cessation. The evidence has brought e-cigarettes to a tipping point. The burden of tobacco-related diseases is too big for the potential solutions such as e-cigarettes to be ignored. My question again, like my previous question, given what we see in this bill, does it recognize that these products are part of a solution and we should exercise our rights and our ability to use those products to address the serious smoking situation that's happening in this country? I urge you to do so. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Barry Buchman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Vape Right, which is South Africa's largest independent vape retailer with 35 outlets nationwide. I know the first thought that jumps to certain people's minds is that we sell to kids. Well, I'll put your mind at ease as I proceed with my presentation. I do not support the current bill, as it lumps two distinctly different industries into the same bill. The only thing in common between tobacco and vaping is nicotine delivery. It is the combustion of cigarettes that causes health issues, not nicotine. It is combustion that kills 50% of all users of cigarettes who continue using them past the age of 40. Vaping has no combustion, no tar, no carbon monoxide, and a minute fraction of the carcinogens found in combustible tobacco. Vaping will save more lives than any other invention this century by giving smokers an almost harmless alternative means for nicotine delivery. The Department of Health should be embracing this harm reduction industry and this product instead of vilifying it. You wouldn't regulate motor vehicles and aircraft in the same bill. They both transport people, they both use fuel, but they are distinctly different. The same applies to vaping versus combustible tobacco. But let's deal with the elephant in the room, underage vaping. If you want to severely curtail underage vaping, then you should rather listen to someone like myself and others in our industry who have intimate knowledge of the vaping industry in South Africa, and not the World Health Organization sitting in their fancy towers in Europe, in countries with completely different socio-economic circumstances to those we have in South Africa. My company, Vaporite, does not sell to anyone under 18. If you come into our stores, we have signs up saying no under 18s. If they come to the counter, we ask for ID. If they give us a fake ID, we confiscate the ID. And we send anyone under 18 away. We only sell to 18 and over. It's not a legal requirement because there is no legal age limit. It's a self-imposed requirement, and I believe we are 100% successful in not selling to anyone under 18. There are 4 main actions the Department of Health needs to take to literally eradicate underage vaping. And they are simple and straightforward to implement. Firstly, which is included in the bill, an actual legal age limit of 18 for vaping. Secondly, ban single-use disposable vapes. There are 2 reasons for this. Firstly, single-use disposable vapes are probably used by in excess of 99% of the youth. They are small, they are cheap, and they are easy to conceal. They are also very easy to smuggle through our porous borders, and since the excise tax was introduced by our National Treasury, the black market in vapes has increased, and I would estimate it to be 30 to 40% of the current vape industry. An additional benefit of banning single-use vapes is that each single-use vape is thrown away as soon as it's been used. That means that up to 2 million batteries a month are being thrown away, and I believe that's something that can be addressed with Department of Environmental Affairs with their support, and we as a group would support the ban of single-use vapes. Thirdly, reduce the maximum nicotine content in e-liquid from the prevalent 5% found in FMCG, such as the department stores and the petrol stations. Those are once again the disposable vapes, the single use. I would reduce it to between 2 to 3%. 5% is too high. Nobody at my head office uses 5%, and we don't pay for our vapes at head office. And lastly, as one individual who supports the bill, but I support what he says, license all vape retailers. License us. Nobody sells vapes unless they have a license, the same as liquor stores. License us. That way you can control us. That way we can get law enforcement involved. I would also like to add another point, that the issue of not displaying products at the point of sale shows how little knowledge those who drafted the bill have of the vape industry. Vaping is a complex industry with complex products. Why would you want to ban the display of products in a specialized vape shop, which has age access control? What exactly are you achieving? I strongly feel that this committee should reject this bill and send it back to the drawing board to be redrafted within the context of fact, common sense, and applicability to the South African socio-economic situation. Thank you.
Chair, good afternoon to you and to your committee. Thank you for the opportunity. I do not support the bill, as you know by now. My name is Francois. I represent the legal tobacco value chain from the farmers throughout. Chair, I come to you in a respectful approach to try and assist you, as I always do, with this bill. I always come, let me say, Chair, with respect to the department who brought this bill here. And we're all South Africans and we want to do the right thing. I have relationships with DDG Hunter, Advocate Mabelo, Lerato, Joe Khatla going back 10, 15 years. We've always maintained a respectful relationship, and I'm sure that between us and with your intervention as a committee, we can amend this bill to a situation where we can have effective tobacco control. But Chair, we have to be honest with one another, and in my last round of input, I want to illustrate to you that this bill is basically stops just short of a ban. It's a prohibition. It'll be difficult to go against what I say. Chair, firstly, it is a total indoor public place smoking ban, where at the moment there are some regulations at certain places for 25%. This is a total ban, so ban, prohibit, and a severely restricted outdoor ban. Chair, you're going to have to deal with the question about 11 million adult smokers in this country and make provision for them to use a legal product where they can use it to the ratio of 25 and 75 non-smokers and smokers, because they have the right to do so, and they have as long as smokers and non-smokers can go together. But that is just about a total public place smoking ban. You have to regulate for that. Secondly, Chair, this is a display ban, as you rightly said. Look at the South African reality of 80% of cigarettes sold in the informal sector by small businesses. I've made the point before. Good luck with banning the display of small businesses who display their products on tabletops, roving vendors, spaza shops, and all of that. It's simply un-South African. It is simply not enforceable. Thirdly, Chair, it's a ban on the use of vending machines. It's possible to look at a different way and place vending machines where only adults frequent, so where kids are not going in. But this is a ban. Fourthly, Chair, it's a ban on the sale of single sticks. We've heard from the informal sector that that is the livelihood of small businesses. And you cannot ban the sale of single sticks because South Africa is a stick market. It provides livelihoods to many thousands of small people. And if you do ban it, Chair, you're going to just drive it further away. Single sticks will continue to carry on because there's a demand for it. Fifthly, Chair, it's plain packaging is a ban on the use of logos and trademarks that does not belong to government, with great respect. So that's what plain packaging is. It's making it plain. It's taking away the use of logos and trademarks that belong to trademark owners. So just bear it in mind that if you want to introduce plain packaging, go and check with the Minister of Finance if he's got 50, 60, 70 billion rand available to expropriate property that does not belong to government. In the sixth place, Chair, this bill is a ban as it stands now on the wonderful opportunity to embrace the concept of tobacco harm reduction, because it seems to want to treat all tobacco products the same way. The world is moving on. The world is embracing tobacco harm reduction, and your regulatory framework needs to reflect that transition of smokers from more harmful to less harmful products. This bill bans that opportunity because it wants to treat everything the same way. The last one, Chair, is this bill bans our democratic principles in the sense that it allows too many powers vested in the minister without regulations having to come back to you as a committee or to Parliament, where you can again engage, ask for comments, all this. This bill sets out, place the powers in the minister, publish comments, publish regulations for a month of written submissions, and then carry on. We cannot work like that, Chair. So this bill stops just sort of a prohibition. We have two options. With your help, we can make it work. We can panel beat it. We can amend it. It's possible. Or the other option, Chair, is send this bill back to Parliament, start from scratch, do a proper socio-economic impact assessment, and then as South Africans we can make it work. Leave the internationally funded NGOs out of this, because they bring things in this bill that are non-South African, as I've tried to explain to you. I thank you very much, Chair.
The last person on the mic, and I have been reliably informed that there will be lunch provided. And so please don't go out now. You might get some lunch. We normally start with those senior citizens in the audience, and therefore, but I'm informed that the lunch may just take care of all of us here. So when the last speaker comes in, one will just comment a bit and thank you. Get one other person to pray for our food and also for the meeting that we have held. It could be the same person who prayed for us or another volunteer. Okay, now to the last person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thanks for protecting the dignity of the line. I was worried when the speaker said inclusive, and I was still very far behind. But I finally got my opportunity. My name is Taban, surname is Bebe, and I represent an organization called Clear the Air Campaign. And I'm agreeing with the previous speaker. I think as South Africans and Africans, we suffer from this symptom of abantu bazothi. We are so obsessed with pleasing international organization and international forces and not wanting to appreciate our local diversity and context. This bill is devoid of reality of the South African context because it does not align itself with the challenges we are facing in the country, challenges of unemployment, challenges of revenue collection, challenges of illicit tobacco, which is the market share. I mean, it says absolutely nothing about fighting the illicit market, which is 70% of the market share. These are the products that you find in townships and rural areas. If you walk into a supermarket like I did earlier on, 90% of the products are illicit. This bill does not address that. It's devoid of that reality. It wants to regulate a market that is already on its knees, that is providing jobs to our people, that is providing food to families. It's already losing, factories are already shutting down because of the illicit guys. They are laughing at us because we are entertaining a bill that is sponsored from outside this country, that is devoid of the realities of our people. So I appeal to the members of the committee, in line with the previous speaker, this bill needs to go back. It does not even address simple issues on the use of tobacco in different contexts, religious and cultural contexts. It has not really in line with South African context at all. Maybe in Canada this might work, but not here. Thank you very much.
Ms. Machalang, if the team that was with us in Parliament would have known that by the time we have the last speaker, there shouldn't be chairs on the passage now, but they still keep them. Anyway, it's a new team, we understand. Can we get a volunteer to be preparing themselves to close for us? Ms. Hunter, I am glad you are here. And this is our last bit. More than 5 participants spoke about the issues of illicit tobacco. Whether it's in the equation or not in the equation, there's something that the department must deal with that part. You can't leave it, and I'm saying this repeatedly, so you can't leave it to some other institution in the country dealing with it. If there's evidence that during COVID we were legitimately closing the legal companies to sell, and there was a booming of illicit tobacco, then there's an issue here. There must also be some investigations whether it is not true that legitimate companies are selling both illicit and normal, and the ones that are coming in there. So all those things needs to be looked into by yourselves and then help to get going. We always get educated when we come to these meetings, among the things I was getting to hear today, and I'm sure my committee members can also talk to so many other things that are brought in here from listening to the audience. I hope that some of the things that have come up here, some of the members who are here will be also to find time and maybe obliged to come and see the committee and engage with us. Because for now today, as you conduct this meeting, is more listening. We are not interactive with you in terms of asking certain other things that some of us would have loved to hear more and really learn from and engage. We are just tempted to engage, but not today. We will get time. Hopefully you are. We have applied to come and engage with us. We want to thank you very much for the work that has been done here once more, and thank every participant and even those who listened, because we get to be educated by just listening and understanding where we are going in terms of that. Maybe as I'm not now closing, let me allow the other two interpreters to say what I've been saying in Afrikaans, or let me say this one was there. She's praying. I said, "Boka kuno utinifigile apa. Ngibuleleke ukuthi lo mama lo uthatha ifoto phaya Miss Hunter ukhona apha. Ngoba izinto eziningi ezithe zaphakanyiswa la, lesi cigarette ezithe zivele ngendlela engacacanga ezingena ngendlela engacacileyo bathi abantu ne-COVID zavalwa imakhethi zesigarethi kwaba khona zakhuphuka kakhulu ezimakhethi lezi ezikhona ze-drugs ezingena ngendlela engekho-right. No-ke siyafisa-ke nokuthi icace mabangathi cwaka beyi-department mababe lo mcimbi nawo bayawungenelela ba-encourage abantu abawuphetheyo urhulumente bathini ngale nto ngoba ezi zikhampani zithi zona zenza kakuhle kuzovalwa zona ezi ezingena ngaphansi azenzi kakuhle but sijonge zona ezi zikhampani ezenza kakuhle azenzi na i-double job zidayise ngapha siphinde zidayise ngapha. So-ke siyanibukela lonke-ke ngoku benifikile apha sithembe nokuthi abanye benu ba-aplayishile ukuze bazokwenza i-presentation kuthi city committee so that sikwazi ukuthi sincokole nabo sibabuze nemibuzo kwezinto abaziphakamisayo ngoba kunomdla ukuthi simamele ukuthi bathini na nyani Afrikaans.
Verskeie baie interessante punte is vandag gemaak. En baie van dit wil ons graag met Tante en haar span verder opvat. Byvoorbeeld die kwessie oor onregmatige en onwettige sigarette wat baie keer verkoop word tesame met regmatige en wettige sigarette baie keer deur dieselfde handelaars. So dit sal ons definitief verder graag wil ondersoek en verskeie gesprekke sal hier uitsprei. Ons leer regtig baie uit die openbare verhore. Elke keer is dit vir ons 'n opvoeding en daar was baie wat vandag bespreek is wat ons baie graag verder oor sou wou praat as daar maar net daarvoor tyd was. Ons gaan nou wel nie vandag verder gesels nie, maar ek hoop dat die van julle wat interessante punte gemaak het, die van julle wat graag 'n gesprek dit verder wil vat, julle name, julle besonderhede gegee het by die tafel sodat ons verder daar kan gesels. Ons bedank julle vir julle bydraes en vir die interessante punte wat vandag gemaak is. Baie dankie.
Yeah, indeed. Let me thank my colleagues here in the committee that has done this work all over the country, and today is our last public hearing that we are engaged in. The rest of the other steps we are doing somehow in Parliament. Thank you very much for your sacrifices, your weekends, and all your time traveling all over and up to here. You have really been doing what this now has given us enough provision to go and sit down as members of the Portfolio Committee to say, what have we listened? What are we doing now in terms of what the country is saying? But again, thank the Department of Health, because you too will have to come back to us to say, we have listened. What are your views on the following things that you have listened to? We have had very strong views that have come up also in today's meetings regarding the way forward of the bill. You must come to us and about those issues. Sibulele kakhulu kwi-committee kakhulu ngabami apha ecala kwami ukuthi silokhu sisuke nabo sihamba wonke amaphondo senza lo msebenzi siyagqiba ngoku apha eGeorge basebasacrifice kakhulu isikhathi sabo isikhathi sefamily sisebenza ngama-weekend balapho so siyagqiba ndiyabubulela kakhulu incele ne-Department of Health nayo mayizilungiselele ngoba sophinde sibize izosixela uba ithini na kule miba ethe yaphakama apha emininzi kakhulu enye-ke strong ethi makuyiwa njani phambili ngale bill so sizofisa sike sidibane nabo-ke bancokole basixelele uba bathini na ngibona nosisi wami uncumile ukuthi ngidolika kakuhle le-Afrikaans one.
Dan wil ek ook baie graag net dankie sê vir my kollegas, dankie vir julle opofferings, dankie vir julle naweke. Dit is dan nou ons laaste openbare verhoor, ons kom uiteindelik by die einde daarvan aan. En ons het genoeg nou ingewin, genoeg opinies, genoeg insaal om regtig hiermee te kan gaan sit en iets daarmee te doen. En ons sien uit daarna om daarmee te gaan sit met al die opinies wat ons ingewin het. Baie dankie ook aan die Gesondheidsdepartement. Ek dink julle het ook nou genoeg sterk opinies vandag ontvang vanuit die gehoor om mee te kan werk. En ons sal dan ons aanbevelings aan julle maak en julle aan ons en ons kan die gesprek voortneem. Dankie.
Any volunteer to close for us in a prayer and then also praying for the food? If none,
enige vrywilligers
or they come through. Pray for our food and pray for a meeting that was well taken.
May we close our eyes. Bow wethu osekhaya ezulwini. Dalo izulu nomhlaba. Kwakhona abantwana bakho bahlangene ngaso esinye. Bezama ukuthi ukulungisa ilizwe. Sonke Nkosi singabantwana bakho sisonke ngethuba phambi kwetrone yakho yobabalo Nkosi siyazi amaxesha amaninzi sikonile ngokucinga ngokuthethana ngokwenza. Kwakhona ngaso isihlandlo Nkosi xa kuvalwa lo mhlangano Nkosi wokumamela isivuko sabantwana bakho abasuke kwindawo ngendawo bezama ukulungisa ilizwe Nkosi. Siyakumema ngobukho bakho Nkosi kuzo zonke izigqibo ezawuthi zithatyathwe ube yinxalenye ngomoya wakho oyingcwele. Nkosi makuthi kuyo yonke into ezawuthi yenzeka ithabathe indawo ukufikela ngalo mzuzu ubheka phambili ibe kokwakho ukuthanda. Kuba khona zonke izinto xa sizicela kuwe sinalithemba nokholo masinakuzamkela ngoku nangonaphakade. Amen.
Just assist me logistics of dishing out the meal there for the. Okay. I'm informed ngizothi niphuma ngephaya idibane labantu abaphathele ukutya nihambe kakuhle siyabulela. As you walk out through that door, there will be someone to give you